Hello, this is Green Greg. It's Greg Allison with Green Greg's Garden and Worm Farm coming to you on 11 April 2021. This is my dad's 100th birthday. 100 years ago today, my dad was born. And my dad meant a lot to me. My dad was very influential in my life. My dad was an influential person. And he went through a lot. He almost made it to his 100th birthday, shy 1 year and about 3 weeks. He almost made it his 99th birthday, but he didn't quite get there, unfortunately. And I'm going to type something in my chat room here just to make sure people can see the chat. I know sometime when I have a chat room, nothing happens until it won't work until I type it in. So I said hello. And hello, Carolyn. So I'm doing this as a live chat tonight because I'm sharing this with my viewers tonight. This special occasion, the 100th birthday of my dad. It's a remembrance. And fortunately, I was able to get them on some video, and I posted 4 videos of them on my YouTube channel. And so we're going to replay these videos tonight. And yeah, well, thank you, SSWW. We're going to replay these videos tonight, and hopefully I get them in the right sequence. And I'm not going to replay them from my channel. I'll share where they're at on my video channel, but I'm not going to replay them from there because, you know, you'll get those commercials, and then when I post this later, there'll be commercials on top of that, and it'll be too much. So, you know, it's just my channel is monetized. But I'm just going to play you the raw videos tonight so you can see my dad. And my dad talked about growing up in the Depression. I asked him especially about what was it like and how they garden and grow enough food, because the times we're coming into, these are things we need to know. They knew how to do it, and we're trying to figure it out. They had the knowledge. They lived it. And we don't. We guess at it. We hope we're getting it. And a lot of us practice and we think we're there, but they lived it. They really lived. That was their life. It wasn't prepping. It was just day-to-day living. What they call day-to-day living is what we call prepping. That was their life. It's the way things were back in those days. And my dad said he scratched for a living. So we're going to cover that. And we're also going to cover some of the stories from World War II. My dad was a World War II vet. And I'll add in, I'll talk about it as we go. Well, my dad was a remarkable man. I really thought he'd make 100 because my dad lived by himself all the way up to the end, just to the time he went to the hospital, just before he died. My dad lived by himself. My dad cooked. He drove a truck. He drove a pickup truck right up to the very end. At just a few weeks shy of 99, my dad was out driving a pickup truck. My dad cleaned house. He cooked his own food. In the spring of the year he was 98, which is he actually mowed his yard. And so he was active. I remember just before all that, him taking me out and showing me a trick he learned about cracking walnuts. Put one on a block and he showed me with a hammer the way to crack it cool and good and clean so you can get the meat out easy. He knew a lot of stuff. So we're going to go through this. We're going to review it, and we'll review it in live chat. So this will be a first time because I always just recorded them and posted them. And I said we've got 44 people in the house tonight here in our chat room. Appreciate that. I'll read a few messages as we go. Sorry to hear about your dad, says WWII. Appreciate that. Ed Emmons, Doug Stack, thank you. Mary Hoos, good evening to you. April Pelham. We got Storm Watcher. Hi, Greg, and happy weather. A heavenly birthday to your dad. Yeah, I do miss him. My dad was very influential. He taught me a lot of stuff. So we'll talk about that too. I salute him. Ellen Story. I was just watching Cast Iron Cooking. My dad did a lot of that. He sure did. We're in big trouble. I think you're right, Brandon. That's why it's really good to know the kind of things that the greatest generation knew. There's not many of the greatest generation left, or very, very few. So we need to tap into that as much as we can. So I'm glad I got him on video some, but he got where he didn't want to do any more video after a while. So I only got 4 to put on this channel. I wished I had more. Cody Halo just stopped by to say hi. Good night. God bless you all. Okay, Cody, thanks for dropping in, and you can check this out later. Dr. G-Man's Place, read the title. Did your dad earn any medals? Well, just whatever you get in combat, I don't know. he certainly had his share of combat, and he did some remarkable things in the military. Well, we'll talk about some of it outside the videos here. Grasshoppers ate my food. Oh, hey, look, that's just it. Gardening is something you got to practice, and there's things that happen. There's catastrophes. That's why you got to try to grow extra food. You need to grow more food than you need to eat, so that you can put some up in case there's a catastrophe. In the meantime, you need to buy food to store. That's why I do prepwithgregs.com. Check that out. But new days, old ways. Yeah, thank you. And Russell, John Russell. We got 50 in the room now. Track Rock, long life. He did have a long life. Michael Range, we love you. Thank you. Ellen Story. Your dad knew how to live right. Yeah, he did. One of my dad's big monikers was work never killed anybody. Or he'd sometimes say work never hurt anyone. It said either way. Work never killed anybody and work never hurt anyone. And sometimes it'd say hard work, because he was a big fan of hard work. And people that didn't work, he didn't respect them at all. He would dog them. If people would work, he'd say they were sorry, and he would just dog them. Kept him alive, didn't it? So he was on something. And John Danson, Gypsy, good to see you. Been a while. Ellen, being in combat was more than enough. Yes, it was. It certainly was. 100 old skillet. There you go. Hey, I saw a skillet today. It's 100 years old. I thought that was appropriate at the flea market. Some of y'all might have seen that. I thought that was very appropriate for today for me. Kind of clicked. Amen to the bond, the father and son. Thank you. I was his youngest. Ellen, just being in a foreign country away from your family. Yep, that's true, especially in a war, and you don't even know if you're going to get back. Between 1914 to 1945 was the most interesting time up here. Yeah, it was interesting. I hope we don't find ourselves in another very interesting time here shortly, but we might. Work, says John Danson Gypsy. I guess that's one I've not heard from. I'm work too. John Russell, when's this war popping off and how? Could be any time. My friends. All right, so 57 watching. I think it makes sense to try to go in and find some of these videos. I'm going to go open one. Hope I get these in the right sequence. I had some trouble with my computer tonight. I meant to be on sooner, and it hung up on me copying. And then it hung up on me again. I was trying to put all these files from my dad in one folder, but it didn't quite happen the way I wanted it to. So I'm going to operate out of 2 folders, and hopefully I get this straightened out. My computer just didn't want to copy for some reason. Didn't make a lot of sense to me, but it is what it is. So I'll open that one too. All right, so I got a couple folders open. I got to figure which one of these is the oldest one. I think this is the oldest video here. I'm going to open it up, and then I'll hit the share. So bear with me. It takes a little mechanics here. Just a little mechanics. Now, I'm playing you the whole video as I filmed them, so we're going to play it. I might stop it and talk a little bit about it, or such and so forth. And I'm not looking at the chat room right now because I'm setting up to play this. Now I'm going to go back to my Zoom page and hit the share button. And there we go. There it is, guys. Some of you may recall seeing this video. And I'll go back and I'll go back and check the chats. So hopefully I don't miss too much. 97-year-old active World War II vet, my dad. I think this is my first video on him. And I think I did this in a couple years before he passed away in 2018. So let's see. I do a little lead in here. I always did a little lead in, tell you what it's going to be about a little bit. I probably filmed it outdoors here or in a barn or somewhere. I usually did that at the time before I'd start a video. So let's see what's here. Hello, this is Greg Allison from Green Greg's Garden and Worm Farm. It's monsoon season here in Tawny, Alabama. Man, we've been getting a lot of rain. Of course, this is a swamp behind my house, actually behind my neighbor's house up here in this subdivision I live in. But even though I was in the subdivision, what are you looking around here? In any event, I'm going to post a video here about my dad. My 97-year-old dad is incredible. He drives, he cooks, he cleans, he mows his own yard, he takes care of himself. He's a World War II vet, and he's got lots of stories. I could do a lot of videos from my dad, good Lord willing. This is not typical video for my channel based on homestead type topics. So but it is great human interest type video. It gives you a little background about me and the kind of drive that goes into me coming from my dad. And I think he's just a great guy with a lot of interesting stories. Do you like seeing video like this? I'm not going to post a ton of videos on my dad, but occasionally I'll put a few up if you guys are interested. Especially, he's got some stories about agriculture, because he was a USDA government inspector and basically got Secretary of Agriculture Earl Butts caught in the lie. But he was the Secretary of Agriculture under Nixon. Go figure that. But in any event, you'd be interested maybe in seeing those things. I don't know. Let me know if you like this, if you want me to keep posting videos like this. And quite frankly, I've got a lot of other very interesting topics that's outside the homestead theme in areas of rocket engineering, science, technology. Do you want to see topics like that in particular? Well, if you've seen my videos on LEAP Project, you know what I'm talking about. Give me some feedback. Thank you. Hey, in World War II, you got hit by a dud shell of artillery. What happened when that artillery hit your truck?
It's wall in, so it'll be about 60 foot through there.
How far?
About 60 foot, broke with the shoulder. Not on the helmet off, but the truck come by and stuck it that wool.
You be all right?
That wool kept you right under in that steel foot.
Oh yeah.
The tire of that truck got that. I was rolling, got that cap off my head.
The wool cap?
Yeah.
Oh,
And
yeah.
that goes down my nose.
Now, what my dad was saying there is he got hit by a shell in World War II. He was in a truck, and it was a dud shell hit his truck. And the shell hit the truck so hard it knocked him out. I mean, it didn't explode. Just the momentum of it knocked him out of the truck. And the truck went careening around, and the front wheel was coming at his head. And he told me before he was rolling to try to keep him getting hit. And that tire actually took his helmet and the helmet liner, which was that wool cap he was talking about, off his head. But he also broke his shoulder when it happened. So he got an injury from that. So I suppose he's had some Purple Hearts. Oh, Lord, that's close.
Oh, God, I thought you were thought he'd kill me.
So I had another driver, American driver in the truck. So Dad was a passenger, but that's what happened. That's close. You was driving, right?
No, I wasn't driving.
Is right? Are you a passenger?
Yeah.
In front or back?
Well, just front's all them trucks had.
Oh, wasn't a deuce and a half? Oh, okay. So you learned to drive a Jeep in the Army?
Yeah.
First thing you ever drove, wasn't it?
4 by 6 by.
6 by. Oh. You never had electricity or messed with any of that. You got in the Army, you was doing telephone switch networks, weren't you?
Yeah.
Jumping out of airplanes, never flown. You ever shot a gun before you went in the Army?
Yeah.
You had? All right. Well, what do you want to tell the world?
It was hell.
Yeah, that's what war is. Oh well. What are you saying about the nice one?
Was up there on the range and got the carbines.
Yeah.
And had practice, shots in practice. Gonna have a preliminary. And when we got the real on the county, 3 hours had a bid up on it. And the lieutenant gonna disqualify me. I shot the highest range on the range.
Why do you want to disqualify you? Because you shot so high, I thought you was cheating.
Yeah. And I shoot left hand, he didn't like it.
Oh.
And after it's over with, he said, let him sit down and shut eyes out, squirrel on top of a tree. Never shot a squirrel alive.
That's why I asked him if he had ever shot a gun before he went in the Army. I'd heard that story before. He said he never shot a squirrel in his life before. This was my dad in the background a little bit, a few years before this. My oldest brother, looks a lot like that, and that's his wife, not my mom. That's his wife that he was married to the last few decades in his life. Her name is Melba, excuse me. My dad, James Hugh Allison, and see him smiling there. So okay, that's why I asked you if you ever shot a gun. I was wondering.
I shot a rifle.
Oh, okay. Shot a rifle before. All right. Well, so
You ran a PX on the side or something at one time.
Oh yeah, my dad liked squirrel hunting. That's what he liked to hunt most, and he always did it with 22 rifle. And he brought quite a few back that way. So he was quite good with a rifle, by the way.
Did you?
After the war's over, I had over 3 of them.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
You fell and broke some skin, didn't you, up in the Alps or somewhere? Somewhere in the mountains up in Germany, or what happened? Did you fall and break something? No?
My shoulder broke.
Shoulder broke?
Yeah.
What did you break when you got thrown out of that truck when it hit you?
Shoulder.
Is your shoulder?
Yeah.
Okay. You didn't get a Purple Heart for that?
No.
Huh.
Didn't get that.
These days you probably got a Purple Heart for something like that.
X-ray, an X-ray, we just put in the sling, stayed in the hospital 3 days, and well, come in the mess hall after that evening. No colonel, somebody fed me. Went to the hospital, stayed 3 days, come out and then go back working.
Well, all the years you worked as a deputy sheriff busting moonshiners, what was your favorite part of that job?
Sitting watching how they act,
Say what?
watching the actions of people.
The actions of people.
Yeah.
What entertained you about watching the actions of people?
What they do,
What kind of crazy? What's the craziest thing you ever seen them do?
drop a bridge clear across the branch.
Drop a what?
Drop the bridges and go clear across the branch.
A
Loud movie.
A bridget.
Drop the bridges.
A bridge.
Drop their pants and then run clear across the pants because they messed in their pants.
Yes. Oh, and run clear across the branch. Try to get away from you.
No, they trying to keep filling bridges full.
Ah, oh God. All right.
That's the latest thing I've seen, did it?
Oh Lord, you seen some crazy stuff then.
Yeah.
All right. I guess that'll be enough video for today.
What?
What?
What is one of them thing word?
I don't know. You probably get one, $200 or $300 maybe. So, you gonna get your movie camera?
Huh?
You gonna get your movie camera?
I doubt it.
All right. Well,
My age don't need to get that.
yeah, you never know. Shoot. So you gonna mow your yards again this year?
Plan on it.
All right. He's got a bunch of leaves to get up out here.
Mow them up.
Do you? All right. So, how's pecans doing this year?
He didn't know that.
They're doing good.
This tree out here, but these back here.
How's your rose garden? You make some good roses this year, flowers?
I made a few. I've been able to take care of them last 4 years, 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, because you've been watching Melbourne nursing home.
And once you moved me a present, I took care of your house.
Yeah. All righty. Cool. Okay, Daddy. So you had an ABC News crew come out of the house on 2 occasions. On one occasion, went to the old house. And this old guy was head of the film crew, big tall man, big guy. Just came back from filming in Israel, right?
No.
Where was he? Turkey?
It has to be in Lexington and Atlanta that day. It is like Jackson. He had to be in Israel. Like Jackson, but he had to be in Atlanta. Had to be in Israel the next day.
But he'd been over there not long ago.
Huh?
He saw me smoking some tobacco and he didn't know what it was and he wanted some and he asked me what it was. I told him it was my special blend. He said, "Well, I just got back from Turkey." He said, "I got some Turkish tobacco. Do you want to swap some?" And I said, "Sure." I swapped him and I went on. I wasn't paying no attention. What happened to him? He tried to smoke it. What happened to him?
I don't know.
And I thought you told me he turned every shade of green there ever was. Did he get sick? Remember that?
Yeah, I remember.
He got sick smoking that tobacco I gave him. You know what that was?
What?
It was red ox chewing tobacco that I ground up and dried out. And you think that's why he got sick?
Probably. Little clip ball, $2 time.
Yeah, that's like smoking a tornado, ain't it?
I don't know.
You don't know. Well, that was my 97-year-old dad, World War II veteran. Quite a character, a lot of stories to tell. If you want to see more of that kind of stuff, let me know. He's got a lot of stories from World War II. He's got a lot of stories from being a deputy sheriff, the chief deputy sheriff of Marshall County in the late 1950s, catching a lot of moonshiners, various farm stories, growing up in the Great Depression. He's got stories. What I might pull on here, and I should have pulled on then more, was this thing with Earl Butts. I really didn't pull on what those ABC news crews were there for. The news crews were really pulling on some stories about graft and agriculture. And that does pertain to this channel to some degree. And it will tell you a little bit about why you really want to go organic and not eat the stuff the USDA and the FDA puts out at you, and why they're testing and the claims they make can be shown not to be what they say. But in any event, that's another story. If you're interested in those kind of things, let me know. Leave some comments below. In any event, I'm going to put a lot of really good homestead type videos on here, videos about growing microgreens, videos about worm farming, videos about my aquaponics system, raised bed gardens, all kind of cool stuff. Many, many more of those things to come. Building barns, building greenhouses, raised beds, and other topics to come. So if you're interested in that kind of stuff, please subscribe to my channel and bang the bell for update notifications so you don't miss anything. And thank you for watching.
Of course, now you got to click all. Well, we got 3 more videos, but I'm going to go back and check our chat notes to see what people are saying. We're going to end this video. Oh, I'm going to stop share is what I'm going to do. Be careful, I might knock myself offline here. I got to go in and end that video. Give me a second. I know there's a lot of chat going on. I got to go in and see what everybody's saying. But I do want to shut that video off and probably get the other started and then come in and check the chat. So I can switch back over real fast. Give me a second. It takes a few minutes. There's some mechanics involved in this. So give me just give me a couple seconds here, guys. All right, shut that video off. Got that done. Hang on. As Lily Tomlin used to say, one momentum, please. Oh, don't want to see that one. We just did that. Close that file out. Oh, I should have left it open because I could have copied that later. Yeah. Okay, go back to the file I want to run out of now. And hope I figure out which one of these was the next in the series. So we're going to have a couple about the Great Depression shortly. All right. We'll talk about the Great Depression. One of them's going to be Christmas. I don't know if I got these in the right sequence. All right, I'm going to go to the chat room. Give me another second. There's a lot of things to manage here. Hey, Daniel Tweet's in the house. All right. Oh, we got 71 watching. Thank you. So, wow, we got a lot of purple hearts. Yeah, he should have got a purple heart, but he didn't. Forgot about that. Look a lot like my father. Well, thank you. Let's see. We can go back up here. See what I've missed. Y'all been busy chatting. I appreciate that. Wow, lots of chat here. A lot of chat. Wow. All right, I think I caught it where I was at earlier. Seems like a great guy, says John Russell. Halo, says Elton Butterfield. Harold Dye, what a beautiful memory of your dad. Thank you. Pete Zahut says, hello, Greg. No, hello. Yeah, I'll see him again one day, Cody. You're right. God bless our nation with this service and you. Well, thank you. Thank you. That's very nice of you there, JR. And hi, Johan Dancing Gypsy. So I say Johan. That's kind of pronouncing the J in the Hispanic. Starts with the J. Johan. Anyway, yeah, I think you go by JoJo sometimes, right? So being in combat was more than enough. You got that right. I remember when you started. I remember when you shared your lot that you lost him, says Joanna J. Thank you. Thank you. Angels and aliens. All right. I think I'm covering some ground I've been on. Great honor your dad. Thank you, R. McElrath. My hair looks good. Well, thank you. On my beard too. Well, thank you there, Johann Dancing Gypsy. Is that the way you want me to say it, Johann? Or you want me to say Johann? So, Skedra Dina, I hope I got that right. It's golden to honor our parents, our forefathers, our family. Yeah, that's knowledge in 100 ways. Amen to that. And I got a lot to talk about in this area, guys. There's going to be a lot to talk about. Greg reminds me of Edgar Winter. I don't know who that is. Who's the woman in your life? Well, there's a few trying to get in. So, all right. So, Dr. G-Man's place, I know someone that served in World War II. He's president of local DFW. Wow, he's still active. Very good. Kind of scars to you and your fathers. Ring rays are part of the legacy. Thank you. Thank you. Sonia, good and hour. Blessing to you and yours. Thank you. It is perhaps another good time to die yet again. Well, I hope not. Nothing as it seems. Brandy, have to get up early. I tap the button. Well, thank you. Everybody do hit the like button, please. It helps my channel with the algorithms. What did Hillary do with those records? Yeah, and isn't it strange how even the newsmen just didn't interested? And if you put them down, if you went in the news desk and plopped them down right in their desk, they'd go, sweep us away, wouldn't they? Suzy Q, Halo. Why I became a top-notch gnome, says nothing. There you go. I'm like 44 equals 8. That's love. Hey, Brandy, how you doing? Good to see you. Yikes, I'm messing up my scrolling here. What else we got? Hello, you awesome people. I just got a lot of chat to go through. Suzy Q. Jessica Rabbit gives a heart. Let's see here. Eating and listening, Suzy Q. All sweet memories. I'm the story people don't get around. People don't get it about war being hell. You got that right, and it is. Current administration is busy trying to purge the good parts out of our military. Yeah, then he wants to put them at war. Looks like. Appreciate all the Purple Hearts, guys. My dad sure should have got a few from what he went through. You know, my dad jumped over a wall one time and exploded behind him. He got captured twice I know of. Yeah, I'll talk a little about some of the stuff that he isn't talking about here when we get done bridges. That's what we country people call pants. That's right, Brandy. I should have said that. Britches, that's pants. But wait, you see, I just didn't hear him at first when I was there. I couldn't hear him. Telling the story, what they have left when they're done purging is parts that make the worst kind of. Yeah, you got that right on the story. You got the message, Greg. Bronze Star. Oh, well, yeah, maybe. And Colorado Jan. Hello, Greg. Happy heavenly birthday, your dad. Well, thank you. I hope he's looking down and appreciating all the people that are watching his videos here tonight. We got 3 more to play in a little bit. If you're just coming in and going, where's the video? We just played one. We're going to play 3 more. I'm just catching up with all the good chat from y'all tonight. So I'm going to try to skip where y'all chatting at each other. What a wonderful man, says Judy. I miss my dad. I bet I miss mine too. You know, I'd always call him up and ask him a question. You know, I'd always ask him something about, you know, the old ways and how you did things, and he'd always have an answer. And I miss being able to do that. I miss being able to talk to my mom and my dad. But my dad was the one I always talked to for advice and things, you know, gardening and roughing it kind of stuff. Debbie Paints, I'm interested in the truth about USDA stuff. I'm going to talk about that USDA thing. I'll save that till after we look at the videos. That USDA thing, I kind of hinted at it some in the video about how our government is actually run. So, did he fight the Germans? Yes, absolutely. He was in Europe in World War II. Absolutely, he did. Ellen story. I finished building a little chicken coop that would keep my cats out. Oh, good. That's good. Yeah, you want cats to keep the rats, but you don't want cats to eat your chickens. Well, thank you, Judy. She said a lot about my dad. I take it as a compliment. Love you too, Joanne. No, yeah, Susan's talking to Joanne. Dr. G. Place. Some say that when the elder passes, a library burns down. Wow. A heck of one to match him. Delta Jungley, growing food in your own area increases the vitality you get from eating it. Well, you know, maybe that helped him out. He certainly grew a whole lot of his own food. A whole lot. Right up to the end almost. Christopher Cordova. Hello, Mr. Greg. Much respect to you and your father. I had a quick question in regards to composting. I've been having trouble with my worms to survive in small containers. Any tips? Well, make sure you're not overfeeding them, because overfeeding them makes the bed acidic. That's what the most biggest problem that most people have is an overacidic bed. And so you need to use pure crushed dolomite, or you could take eggshells and blend them up real fine and put them in, moisturize it, but put in lightly. Very, very, very lightly, maybe with wood ash, but wood ash is very potent. You just want to lightly adjust the pH to make it a little bit less acidic. If it don't work, you might try more. But the other thing, make sure your bed's not too dry or too wet. It might be just be crawling out if it's too wet. It needs to be just right, just moist. You also need to just make sure they got some sand in there. Maybe they're not having babies, and maybe the babies are not able to live because they're not getting sand in their gizzards to grind the food up. So maybe they're passing away after the baby generation. I don't know. You have to depend on your situation. Have to see what you got. All right. Hi, dear, happy birthday to your dad, says Serenification. Thank you. Elvin Vincent, thank you. My grandpa, WWII. My grandpa was in World War I also. And my dad went over some of the same fields as my granddad. My mother just turned 83 and she can run circles around me. All right, Joanne. Dr. Jungley, my grandfather's on both sides of World War II. Okay. That's your grandfather's. Well, me is my father. My great grandpa, World War I technician. Dr. G, man. Mary, so I remember my daddy talking about only getting one pair of shoes, working the family farm along with his 9 other brothers and sisters, carrying a homemade biscuit and a homemade jelly and a dinner bucket. Yeah, that might have been all he ate a day. My dad was skinny when he went in the Army. He was like about 120 pounds, maybe not even that. They didn't have a lot to eat. That just seems conflagration of. A lot of hearts and Trish, thank you. You look snazzy, says Johan. Oh, thank you. Ellen Story, I got a little cool last night and I worried that they might suffer for it. Oh, but they seem to have done it all right. Okay, Ellen. April Pelham, the documentary maybe teaches a kid or two. There we go. My grandpa was World War II vet too, says G-Tron 212. Skeezy McTrip says, hey, Greg, what part of Tennessee are you in? I'm actually in Alabama. I'm 8 miles south of the Tennessee border. So you'll see me up in Tennessee in some of my videos, especially going to Dog Days Flea Market. It's just up the road from me. I'm close to Tennessee, but I'm actually in Alabama. But most of my land is in Arizona. Yeah, I got 40 acres in Arizona. I got 2 acres in Alabama. So guess where I'm going to be heading in late spring, early summer. All right, certification here in Bama. Oh, he's in Bama. That's right. Gravity is hard. Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. Yeah, homemade biscuits. That's pretty hard to beat, really. Cat Trips, your dad was an American hero. Well, thank you. We'll talk more about some of the stories that's not in the videos. We got 3 more videos to go. My cats won't go near a chicken. Well, Judy, how did you train those cats? I have a certain way of training dogs not to go near a chicken. I'm interested in seeing how you train those cats. Your father's stories and these stories are all the men like him are what we need because it's real history. You got that right. It's not something edited and filtered through books and literature, through editors of all kinds with an agenda. He just puts it out there. It's just the way it was. My dad was on Normandy Beach, one of the first. Wow, Deborah. Wow. And the fact that you're here means he survived it. And that's quite an accomplishment, being one of the first on Normandy Beach. That was rough. You're following in his footsteps, sharing your knowledge with whomever willing to accept it. There you go. I understand that there are many things worth fighting for, and I respect what our fathers fought for. That's thank you. Say that. Oops, I lost it. Dina. I'm sorry, I'm not reading. Skadra Dina. I hope I got that right. We need more extensive help for biology class project. Can I reach out to you in my email? Well, Christopher, I could answer some stuff, I suppose. Ali Azix, I miss my dad so much. He too was an old timer and a dairy farmer. Well, that's awesome. Yeah, you're right about listening to elders there, Ali. Wow. Wow, you've got a lot of comments coming faster. We got 67 still in the room. Hello, Miss Greg. Love you. You're a great person. Happy birthday. Oh, well, thank you there, Lion Rex. Always listen when a soldier wants to speak of their hell, and it was. You're right. My worms are in my laundry room. Stays perfect temperature. All right, Judy, that sounds good. Much love and hugs to you too, says Brandy. Sweet. How you doing? Good to see you all tonight. Nothing seems heading toward Alabama. Okay, very good. Jim Gillespie, I am thankful for your dad for his service and contributions. As a member of the greatest generation, I'm sure he was looking down, proud of his family. Happy his birthday. Happy 100th angel birthday. Ellen story. They aren't chicken size yet, just the little chicks. Okay. Cats don't like getting pecked. Well, that's true. That's true. You need to get a box of cat traps. Uh-oh. Cat traps. Says Ellen. Crazy Kathy Serrano. I cherish the pics of my parents. Boy, I do too. Surf Cat Green Grades. When you go to Arizona, I want to go. But I was wondering if you had considering the geodesic dome greenhouses, way more sturdy. I'm thinking do Wallapini style if I can dig down. But my first party, I'm not going to have as much money as I thought I was going to have starting out. So my first party is going to be worms and microgreens. Worms because I need to build a worm farm out there, and microgreens because it'll make a little money. I don't have people working for me there, and I got to come with something that supports them. So holler at me, tell me what your interest is if you're interested in going. But I don't know if I'm going on my bus or going on my van yet. So my money's going to be a lot tighter than I'd hoped for. Happy B-Day to your pops. My dad would be 97. He's still around. He too was in the Army Air Corps. Well, that's awesome. Well, my dad actually wasn't in the Army Air Corps. He was in the Army. He was airborne. He jumped out of the planes. But my dad was Army. He was headquarters company of the 18th Airborne Corps. The 18th Airborne Corps was over the 101st, 82nd, all the other airborne corps. So he actually jumped with the other guys too. So I got some more stories too about some. He didn't tell everything in these videos, but my dad used to be a storyteller. I heard stories all the time growing up. My dad had a little chicken killing dog, so he tied the dead chicken to the dog and made the dog wear it till it rotted, and never bothered chickens after that. Yeah, well, I was told to put the chickens upside and wait till they got stiff and maggot infested and beat the dogs with them. It worked. That stopped them. My granddad served in Korea. He told his story a few times. I bet he did. Dr. Jimin's place. Al Gore has no rhythm. Us to your father, amazing generation, our finest. Thank you. Harold died 6 weeks ago, I meant to say. What happened 6 weeks ago? Sweets. We had my grandfather's funeral yesterday. Oh, sorry to hear that. My girlfriend and I really enjoy watching your videos, says Gen X. So is that like extension, EXT? Gen IX. Fond of you because of you selling worms. Yeah, the worm sales hopefully will get restarted. I got to rebuild my website. That's going to take me some time. I know the pain and loss. Yeah, I do miss them. I still miss Mom, and she's been gone for 14 years now. Track rock. I need worms. All right. Wait, keep an eye out for my website. It'll be greengregs.com. Hopefully it won't be too long before I get it back up. Hopefully in 2 or 3 weeks. Gee, all that incredible sense they roll and everything dead, but they can find, oh yeah, dogs, that's funny, yeah. And roll everything dead, but you hang a dead chicken on them, they get tired of it. Happy would be the 100th birthday to your dad. Sorry for your loss. Sounds like he was a great man. He was. All right. Mr. Seam says, Carol Shelby tried his hand at chicken farming. All right, let's go watch another video. I caught up with a chat. Somebody gave us a thumb down. Wow. Somebody gave us a thumb down. You believe that? Maybe because I wasn't playing video, my dad was reading the chat room. You know, this is a live session, guys. So in a live session, I give it to you. That's why we do a live session, people. That's what a live session is all about. So let me go share screen again, and hopefully this one is the one I want to play next. Hello, this is Greg Allison from Green Graves Garden and Worm Farm, coming to you from my log barn. Talk to you today a little bit about my dad, my 97-year-old dad. I'm about to show some video I shot him Christmas Day, 2018. He's an incredible guy. He's endured a lot in his life, lived through the Great Depression. So I asked. Yeah, my channel had about 3,000 people when I filmed this. Maybe not even 3,000 yet. A little bit about the Great Depression and a little bit about World War II. He didn't want to talk about combat too much on the Christmas holiday. There are times he has talked about it. There are topics he won't talk about. My dad will not discuss getting captured in the Battle of the Bulge, for example. Because I guess, when the memories are real bad, the veterans just don't really like to talk about some of those things. And can't blame him. Although I was kind of surprised he didn't want to talk about something he used to talk about a fair bit. But also maybe there's intimidation by being on the camera and things like that. So, but anyway, my dad still cooks, cleans, drives, mows his yard at 97-year-old. And that's pretty incredible. So this is off topic for a lot of what I cover in this channel, although I did ask him questions that do pertain to living off grid when he was a kid, because that's all they had. They didn't have a grid back in those days. So, I just like covering on topics like that and how they did in Christmas. So if this is something you like, let me know. If this is too far off topic and you'd rather not see videos like this, let me know that too. The last time I posted a video of my dad, everyone seemed to really like it. So just let me know what you think. But I will be posting a lot of videos about homesteading, gardening, organic gardening and raised beds. Of course, I got a lot of stuff doing on microgreens and worm farming and aquaponics. Oh, yeah, I've just cleared out a trailer. I'm going to be growing microgreens in. So that's more coming on that in the near future. And I'm getting ready to set out a bunch of lettuce in my aquaponics system. And eventually I'll show some of the old video I shot when I built this place here. Yeah, we got a barn loft here. So stay tuned. If you haven't subscribed to this channel already, please do. And bang the bell for update notifications, and you'll get to see all the other videos I'll be coming out with. There's lots to come. Thank you. Bye. Of course, you have to click all now. You didn't have to back then. Merry Christmas, 2018. How you doing, Daddy?
Oh, I'm doing all right.
Doing all right. Well, if you go back, Christmas is 95 years ago. You was 2-year-old. How far back can you remember?
I remember when I was 3.
Remember when you was 3?
Yep.
Did you get anything for Christmas that year?
I don't know what that been that Christmas night.
What would you usually get for Christmas when you did get something?
Very little.
An orange, an apple? What did you get?
Orange, apple, stick of peppermint candy, maybe a pecan or walnut.
A pecan or a walnut?
Yeah.
So what did y'all eat for Christmas dinner?
Just whatever we had.
Well, what would that usually be?
Pretty skimpy to start with.
Pretty skimpy, huh?
Yeah.
Did y'all eat any meat?
Yeah, you had ham all the time.
Had a ham? How often would y'all eat chicken back in those days? You'd have to kill your chicken out of the barnyard, didn't you?
Yeah.
And pigs, y'all kill the pigs when it was cold in January.
No, killed them in November.
November?
Yeah.
All remember when we was killing when I was a kid, we'd wait for a real cold day. It was clear.
We used to have cold days in November.
Oh, okay. Well, we had some this year, I think. You get one just so you'd have it for Christmas or Thanksgiving?
We might have 10 or something like that. We kill around Thanksgiving, close to it.
Oh, yeah. Did y'all have a Thanksgiving dinner back when you was a kid?
No, we just had a regular dinner.
Regular dinner?
We didn't celebrate a holiday like we do now.
I figured you didn't. So on the Christmas, did family get together? Did people come around, or is it just who was there?
Usually a few people come in on Christmas.
Yeah.
Or go somewhere else, we would.
Now, when I was a kid, your mom would have her Christmas on Christmas Eve, and we all went over. But when you was growing up, I guess y'all got together. Y'all had your little thing on Christmas Day, or what did y'all do?
Yeah, usually Christmas Eve or Christmas Day, one had.
One or the other.
Yeah.
So wasn't too many people coming around, just a few.
Not many.
Not many. Well,
Growing up, nobody had nothing hardly.
well, I know that. So you was growing up through the Depression.
Yeah.
Actually, your first 10 years was before the Depression. Well, your first 8 years was before the Depression hit.
Yeah, it hit October 29.
Well, it probably growing up on a farm wasn't probably much better for farm kids before the Depression, was it? Was it any better then?
A little better, yeah.
Was it?
Yeah.
In what way?
It was about 20 cents a pound. When the Depression hit, it went down to 5.
What was 20 cents a pound?
Cotton
Cotton.
went down to 5 cents.
Oh, so y'all couldn't make any money.
So that was a real hard lick hit.
Well, let's see, back in the day, y'all work on the farm and produce something all year long and turn around and buy stuff with it. About all you bought was clothes and coffee and sugar and salt. What did y'all buy? And little maybe kerosene for the lamps.
Yeah.
You worked all year, and what did that buy you?
Pardon?
If you worked all year, what did that buy y'all? Y'all didn't have a lot you could buy from it even.
No, didn't have very much to buy with.
Yeah.
Just barely enough clothes to get by most of the time.
Yeah. So what was you didn't have any electricity, so you had to keep your milk and your meat in a well, didn't you?
Well, they either let it draw cold water or we had a spring for a time with the spring.
Oh yeah. So how long would that stuff keep? How long would milk keep in the spring?
Oh, well, you put it there every day. You don't put it in there.
So you just milked what you used in a single day. You didn't keep it longer than that.
Yeah, put the rest of it in a churn and let it clabber to make buttermilk.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Whatever you didn't use.
Have to churn it though.
Oh yeah. Well, who did most of the churning?
Who was closest to it?
So y'all try to get away from the churn?
Yeah.
That's funny. So y'all would get up in the morning, what time?
About 4 o'clock to have breakfast.
4 o'clock. So you'd be outside before the sun come up getting meals ready and everything?
Yeah. Daylight would see was out at work.
You had to be out in the field since that sun was up,
Yeah.
didn't you?
Before the sun's up.
Before the sun was up. What about wasn't there some old steam whistle at the cotton mill in Albertville that y'all would hear?
Yeah, we had whistle up there at our one.
What happened if your feet didn't hit the bed floor when the whistle went off?
No,
What?
we usually done up.
It's done up. Oh, you couldn't wait that long. All right. Well, what time did that whistle go off?
About 4:30.
All right. Wasn't much tolerance for a kid laying in bed, was there?
No, you lay in bed.
What happened?
You go to bed early at night.
Yeah.
You quick to eat, get ready and get in bed.
Oh, all right. All right. Got up fresh in the morning, got to work.
Yep.
Daddy'd get after you if you didn't, wouldn't
You wish you had if you didn't.
he? Oh. It'd make you wish you had if you didn't, huh? So how do you make you wish that?
You got strapped up with a switch.
Striped up with a switch. I know what that was like.
Yeah, I mean, you got a good spanking.
Yeah, I've had a few stripes on me. But anyway, all right. Well, so what do you think about these kids these days?
Hey, they've got it made.
Do they?
Spoiled, all of them.
Well, one of these days, our power grid may go out and they have to live the old way. They're going to have a tough time, aren't they?
Yeah.
You got any advice to them for how to toughen up and get ready for it?
I don't know. It would not.
Yeah, that'd be a hard adjustment, wouldn't it?
Those older folks would make it better than the younger folks.
Probably.
There you go.
Probably.
We've been through it before.
That's right. That's right. Well, maybe things won't happen, but there's a lot of things that can pull our power grid down. Be down for years. Anyway, just getting your check on that. So, Dad, when you were in the Army in Iceland, you and another guy built the first radio station in Iceland. What happened?
Well, we started out there with the old cabinet and worked all night, and next morning we was on the air.
It was the first radio station?
Pardon?
It was the first radio station in Iceland?
No, it wasn't the first. The first one we just had there at the camp. And what other for service station? I mean, the service had one up there, and then they had country had one.
Okay, was it real popular?
Yeah, we had more records and all that. It had more listeners.
Oh, did you?
We had about 1,400 records.
So what did you do? What did you soldered or what?
Yeah, I started and kept it going.
Kept it going, huh?
Yeah,
So what did you do when you were in Iceland?
do a little bit of everything. Dig ditches,
What years were you there in Iceland?
43 and 44.
So you were there just before you were training when you were there?
I went there in 13th day of August 33 and left there in July 44.
Okay. And then you went to England?
Went to England, yeah.
And you were in England when the V2 rockets and the buzz bombs were dropping around you? Yeah. So and then you were airborne, and you were supposed to have 3 training jumps in the Army before
Let's
you.
get away from that.
You don't want to talk about that?
No.
Okay. All right.
All right. What he had told me on this was that they were told they had to have 3 training jumps. That's why he didn't talk about that, because he used to talk about that a lot. That let me stop the share for a minute. He said they had previously, they were supposed to have 3 training jumps as airborne and then go to combat. He said on their 3rd jump, all the guys on the plane were looking down and they noticed they were way over the enemy lines. They didn't know it till they got there, but their 3rd training jump was combat. And they got dropped into enemy territory. And my dad, he went into the war a little bit late because his dad was crippled. And he was taking care of his dad first for a while. And so he got a little bit of a deferment going in. So he wasn't there at D-Day, but he went in and they dropped him in over enemy lines, airborne. And he said when that light went off the jump, he said, you never saw such a plane load of sick men in your life. The guys were they had no expectation they were going to combat until it was, until they were to jump. And it just really caught them. They just weren't psychologically ready for it. And that's a big jolt. That's a huge jolt. And he didn't talk about it at that time, but he had talked about it before. My dad grew up on a farm that didn't even have electricity. There was no electricity. There was no phone. And very few people had an automobile. A doctor, maybe. That's what you say. A doctor had an automobile. And almost nobody in the South, the South was poor. South was real poor back in those days, especially, in the foothills of Appalachia. And they had a mule. It was about it. That mule was pull your wagon and plow your fields, and that was it. He had a mule. If you were lucky, you had a couple of mules. But they had a hard scrabble life. And he suddenly went in World War II, and he drove a Jeep. They put him fixing telephone switchboards. That was his technical specialty, but he jumped out of airplanes. And my dad was all into, the best electronics at the time. He would, that was the telephone system, telephone switchboards. He'd be climbing poles, working on the switchboards themselves. soldering. And that's how he learned the skills for soldering the radio station. So here was just a, country boy from the middle of nowhere. And the next thing you know, he's doing all these kind of things. And, he was a fast, quick learner on them. And he did electrician work on the side for many years after that. But my dad would he could hold the leads on that switchboard when that telephone would ring. That ringing current was really powerful. It knocked most people flat. I forgot what that voltage was on it. But I've seen my dad stand in water in a well house and live splice with his bare hands 220 volt lines. But my dad could not wear a watch. The watches would just die in a day or two on him. His bones were magnetized because of his exposure to all those currents. His bones were very magnetized. But in the end, that did have an impact. My dad got leukemia. My dad had leukemia for maybe 10 years or better, and he would get some treatments. And that's one of the people that got exposed to high voltages a lot, got leukemia a lot of times, like Gerard K. O'Neill, who came up with the space colony concept, also invented the particle storage rings, which used a high powerful magnetic fields, a lot of current. So he was around such things, and coil guns, and he also died of leukemia. And I've got a picture where I met him at the University of Fairbanks and University of Alaska in Fairbanks. So the coil guns, just the power like that. If you get exposed to a lot of electricity, you're a lot more susceptible to getting leukemia. What happens? Your bones, minerals in your bone get magnetized, and your bones is where your bone marrow is. That's where your blood cells are made. So I can understand how that could go awry. Is you're changing the very source from which your blood comes from. So, but he survived the leukemia, and leukemia is not what did him in the end. He actually had a fluid buildup on one of his lungs, like a pneumonia. It could have been because he had a puncture in or something like that. But he died when the bug was going around, and some people say that everybody that died was listed as dying of the bug going around. He was not listed as that, but he did have the pneumonia, so it might have been that he did have it. We can't say he didn't. They didn't test him for it, apparently. So 3 weeks later, my oldest brother dies of the bug. And then later, my other brother gets the bug, not a whole lot behind that. And he still has some probable bleeding. So he may have some glass lung phenomenology that, anyway. So I know somebody in our chat room that says her daughter's got the glass lungs right now. So maybe would like to tell us about it. So let's go back to the video here with my dad. I'll go back and share. I just wanted to stop for a little bit and talk. And I'll go back to the chat room in a little bit. But let me finish this video first.
So, what's your best memory of Iceland?
Best memory?
Yeah.
Leaving there.
Leaving.
Well, since I asked him something he didn't want to talk about, I thought I'd get positive. So I said, what's your best memory? So I was trying to lighten it up a little bit because I hit a raw nerve with him. So I was trying to make it a little light on him.
What's your best memory of England?
Yeah.
Same thing?
Or no, I enjoyed myself there.
Oh, okay. Then you had to go to combat though.
Yeah.
Where did you do most of your airborne training?
England.
Where did you do most of your training for switchboard work?
I was a switchboard installer.
Yeah, where did you do most of that at?
Fort Monmouth.
Fort Monmouth? Okay.
New Jersey.
All right. Well, it was a heck of a thing y'all did in that.
Pardon?
Heck of a thing y'all did in that war. But anyway, all right, thanks.
Yeah, I don't think he heard me. He's looking at me like he didn't hear me. Oh,
Hello, this is Greg Allison from Green Greg.
Whoops, let's end this video. We'll stop share. Hey, hello. And again, I'm going to go in and kill that video and queue up what I think is the next one in the series. Hope I'm getting this right. So we just played 2 of the videos of my dad, and we're going to talk about them in general. I'm going to queue up the next one. I'm going to go back to the chat room before I play it, because I know you guys had a lot of chat talk in here. So I got to find the directory. Give me a second. I got a lot of places to bounce around. A lot of things are open. There it is, Dad. I played that one. And let's see, which one is the, I think this is the third one. I'm not 100% sure, but I believe it is. Yeah, So he'll talk more about World War II in this, I believe. And the next one is going to be more about, the last one's going to be 98-year-old recounts feeding families in Great Depression. So, but this one I think has got more World War II and maybe other stuff. We skipped around, as you saw, on the topics. So hang on, I'm going to pull this up. Oh, I just pulled up a picture, not the video. Yikes, hang on. Uh-oh. I just realized that I might be one video shy. We may have to go to my channel to find this. So give me a second, guys. Let me have to go into the channel, see which one I want to play next. Yeah, we'll just put it up in the channel when I start to play it. So in the meantime, I'm gonna go into the chat room. I think I am. Sure I can find it first. Here we are. Now I'm in a chat room. So see what everybody's got to say here. So I got to scroll back up to find where I left off. I hope I can get close to it. Wow, a lot of chat. We got 77 in the room, pretty much what we had last time. Well, we had a lot of people come through because we got 130 thumbs up. So who in the world gave me a thumbs down on this? And Johan Dancing Gypsy said, I think he and my dad going to talk. They might do that. Yeah, I bet a lot of them are sitting up there on their cloud chatting away about all their days and looking down on us and wondering what's coming of our world, probably. All right, I can't seem to scroll all the way back up to the very top because the top message I'm seeing, strangely, isn't anywhere probably close to the last thing I saw before. That's interesting. And with Brandy telling us why she got rid of a Shih Tzu dog. Oh, 56,000 now. What is that, Suzuki? 56,000 what? So I'm missing part of that conversation. And somebody's laughing at Brandy explaining why she got rid of her dog. All right, so Jim, thank you for sharing your dad. We'll have to watch the end later. Darth O'Clock comes. Well, good night. Good night there, Skadra Dina. I hope I'm saying your name right. So let me go there. People had to be hungry a lot back then. They were. It was tough times. I love smoked ham, says Ellen. Yeah, but that's the only meat you eat. That you might get a little tired of it. It'd be either salted or smoked, maybe a little bit of both. I can remember getting candied orange pills for Christmas. And weren't those things terrible? Weren't they just terrible? I hated those things. I remember when that was real popular to give kids. It's like, yeah. Scrambled eggs, smoked ham, baked beans, and cornbread. You know what? That's pretty close to what I had for dinner tonight. Was I had a ham and baked beans at least. Trying to go low carb, so I didn't eat any cornbread. I used to eat a lot of cornbread. Love it. Yeah, Mary Hoos. My mom and dad talked about getting an apple or a penny, candy and nuts. Yeah, same thing. A little stick doll with a little dress. Well, she got a toy. She was doing good. Stick doll with a little dress. Well, she was doing real good. My dad would be 100 on the January 20th, 22. All right, Barbara, we're real close, real close. His ship was the first on the scene to rescue survivors of the Indianapolis. Wow, that's impressive. Mom talked about having to walk to town carrying a block of ice on back from the ice box. Wow, wow. Yep. Dr. G-Man's place. In our area, we didn't have the ice houses and stuff like that. People just used, I mean, they said a spring because water coming out of the ground was like 55 degrees. So if you put if you had a spring on your place, and there was a spring on the place where I grew up was also, but it wasn't regular. There was also a spring on the place where my grandma lived, where my dad spent a lot of his life before they went in World War II and after, in fact. David Cummer says Semper Fi. Okay, well, appreciate that, but we were Army in my family. But a lot of respect to Marines. So I'll take that Semper Fi if the Marines allow it. Craig thinks I look a lot like my dad. Yeah, I'm related somewhat anyway. Ellis, the returning takes some time. Yeah, it does. It sure does. Or he said, I remember getting a good switching before more than once. Yeah, me too. Oh, my mama used to flog me. Woo-wee. Man, she flogged me. There's no such thing as picking out a good switch. Oh, you talk from experience, Brandy. I think you've been there. Yeah, I remember one time when I was, that's pretty much torture to tell you that you had to go cut your own switch to get spanked with. If you didn't cut one that suited them, you were really in trouble. But but I remember when I was a kid, I thought I had the best moment in the world. I thought I was brilliant. I know what I'll do. I'll just break all the switches. You know, my mother always kept them behind a certain door, and I went in there and just tore them up. Oh boy, I'd never do that again. Oh, I got one of the worst floggings I ever got. She made sure she got some new switches. I learned that's not a mistake to make. Rex and Lee live near their Vision toys. Okay, yeah, they've been having some fun up in on what's that mountain? Oh shoot, I was talking to Lee about it just a couple of nights ago, and I can't remember the name of it. Dulce Mountain. Little switching dance. She'd grab you by one hand, she had the switch in the other hand, you go around and around and around. And it was no fun. And she goes, quit crying. You know, they're going to spank you to quit crying. Well, how in the world can you quit crying when he's tearing you up? Woo! Setting you on fire. That was rough. I remember working with Leo Underwood and Billy Dixon. Okay. Colbert County, Alabama. Undercover buying agents from bootleggers. What? James Saul, remember him? You remember my dad working with Leo Underwood and Billy Dixon and D.W. Dodd as ABC agents. I don't think they had ABC agents in the 50s. Colbert County. My dad was Marshall County. His main partner was Hubert Hipp, and L.P. Dixon was the sheriff in the day. And L.P. Dixon, my dad and Hubert Hipp in 4 years caught 400 moonshiners red-handed on the site. They were busy puppies. So when I was a kid, my dad would always take, he'd always want to go to the county fair. And it was rare he'd ever want to take you anywhere. But the only reason he wouldn't go to the county fair is just so you'd run into. But, you know, hey, at least I got to go to the county fair. So I got to ride rides and eat, candy, whatever, cotton, popcorn, or whatever, had a cola, So I thought it was a great treat to go to the fair. But my dad would always run into somebody. There'd always be some guy walking up to my dad every darn time. Hugh Allison, how you doing? And they'd pat him in the back, and they'd go, can I buy you a Coke? Can I get you something? How many beer and stuff like that in the county fair, Can I get you a Coke? Can I get you this? This guy would always turn around to me and say, did you know your daddy put me in prison? I go, and I just began looking up. Oh, really? Really? Wow. And then the guy that always, it act like he met his best long lost friend, Man, it put him in prison. Of course, maybe it turned their life around. So maybe they were thankful in some cases. My dad whipped a few of them too, pretty good. So James Saw, buying agents. Anna Lee Langbauer says, my dad was born in 1919. Wow, and served in the Navy during World War II. God bless all of our veterans and servicemen, servicewomen who served today. Well, thank you, Anna Lee. 2 days always interesting. I can't wear watches, nor can my son. We're called sliders. You might be a magnetic. I think you are a magnetic person. You got that magnetic personality. Zzz. Judy Dow, I have problems with my watches. Battery's short out. Winds up sleeves and trying to run backwards. Wow. You're doing the time warp, Judy. Let's do the time warp again. Holy smoke. Clock's running backwards with you. You know what? Does that work for aging? Can you make it all the atoms and aging run backwards? Leukemia from electric current. I know a few people have had it and survived it. Yeah, well, my dad was surviving the leukemia. Something else got him. He had like 10 years. He was tough. Yeah, the whole time he still lived by himself. He had leukemia, went through chemo, and he still lived by himself. He was tough, no kidding. That generation that fought in World War I and War II had to be tough as nails, maybe tougher. Dr. G, man, you're right. Man, that was some tough hombres. My cancer was a blood cancer called mantle cell lymphoma. Judy, are you cured from all? It included bone marrow. Yeah, bone marrow. So that's where your blood starts from. I greatly appreciate the video of your dad and you telling us. Yeah, well, thank you. And we got, I think, 2 more videos to go here. Judy, your dad was a good old boy. Well, in a good sense. And there's also that notion of good old boys that are like, controlling the community. You can't go climb the ladder because the good old boys stop you. There's that kind of good old boy too. There's more than one definition for good old boy. Now, my dad was not one of them, that kind. But yeah, he's a Southern boy. This generation ain't so tough. A bunch of sissies and soy boys, says G-Tron. Soy boys. Yeah, I just did a video talking about all the PCBs in our environment, and soy too, having hormone altering effects on young men. Sassafras is in the room. I see Brandy talking to him. Hey, people, it's getting sporty out here. Yeah, things are going crazy, Chris. We're in some crazy times. Sub, sir. Well, thank you, Susie Q. If there's too much chats, then you can't go back up. Oh, yeah. That's what happened. I had a lot of chats. I just couldn't. 56,000. Oh, subs now. I hit the 56,000 mark. Awesome. Hey, y'all are with me. It was like, I was sitting at 55,590 something the last time I looked. So 92, and now we popped over. Well, very good. So we can celebrate that, definitely. He was a straightforward person. He was ugly to them, just honest. There you go. And, that's the way a generation was. They'd just tell you the way it was. They were pretty plain spoken. They tell you what they thought. And they didn't mince words about it. They'd just tell you what they thought. If they thought you were full of it, they'd tell you. But they'd also help you. They would do more for you than anybody. They really would. Greatest generation. And a mean rooster got canned. Yeah. My grandma had me dispatching a few that we would cook later. Sure enough, wringing their necks. So 50,600 subscribers ain't bad. Yeah, that's right. Keep on subbing. Thank you, Daniel. Yeah, 50,600. Cole Jan, my dad would have been 103 March the 8th. All right, Colorado Jan. Or Cola. I suppose that's Colorado. C-O-L-O Jan. Maybe it's Coca-Cola. I'm assuming Colorado, but I don't know. James saw him and Leo Underwood would get out of the car and hide in the bushes across from the road and take pictures of our customers. All right, James, that sounds interesting. So, James, you're pretty close by. Yeah, there are a lot of moonshiners here in Alabama. Everybody thinks they're all in Tennessee and Arkansas. No, Alabama, Appalachian part of Alabama, it was just like those other places, big time. Judy Dow, Grandma had a spring house. She kept her milk there. Hey, Lady Kicks, how you doing? Susie Q, LOL. Mary Hoosh, yeah, Mom talked about bathing in the spring. Yeah, or your old wash tub. You knew, I never forgot the bathing in ice water creek. Oh, yeah, that'll wake you up. Let's see. Colorado or COLO Jan, I never had to pick up my own switch. But I got blistered up and down the back. Yeah, I bet. My dad could hold me up with one hand and switch me with the other. Yeah, it was always my mama getting us. Dad never felt like he had to spank us because mama was always took care of it in a hurry. I never got a spanking from my dad. I got a couple verbal spankings, and that was pretty good enough. Plenty good enough. I had to share bath water, and I was the youngest. Yeah, so you got the last water, didn't you? Yeah. All right. Recon Delta says we got it way too easy now with the outhouse in the house. Exactly. Greg, that was a brilliant idea. Shame on your mom didn't admire the thought that went into that. Breaking the switches. Ooh, yeah, that was a big mistake. She might have, but she didn't let me know it. Back then, the rules were tight. Our family get together in Mountain City, Tennessee consists of music, bluegrass music. Hey, now, you know what? That is plenty good right there. Some good bluegrass music. Wow, I love that. Hello, everyone, says Southern Boy Prepper. Good to see you here. All right, here's somebody got, I remember my little yellow haired granny's old outhouse. Drawing water from the well. Hey, how many of you ever drawn water from a well and looked in it and saw a little fish in it? You know, little fishes. You can see those little clear fishes that didn't have any eyes. I've seen that out of well water. And just a cave down there had a little blind fish in it. I've seen that. I said, about to put my dad to bed now. All right, well, take care of your dad. Part of the lesson here is learn to love your family. You never know when you're going to lose them. It happens so fast, and you always miss them. You never recover from losing someone dear to you. You know, it's always a hole in your life. You know, all you can hope there is to meet them in the great beyond. Sassafras Red, congratulations, Greg, for all the subs. Congratulations on the subscribers. You're here to join with Greg. Well, thank you, and I hope they thank you too. I hope everybody who subscribed enjoys it. Somebody gave me a thumbs down, though. Can you believe that? My mom had plastic shillelagh club to smack us with. Whoa. Let's see, Dr. G. Mans. If the U.S. Army reinstates the advanced physical warfare training, 80% of the kids either enter boot camp wouldn't make it. Yeah, well, that's what they need. They need some real good physical training. Dukes and Hazard, says Brandy. My dad was born July the 4th, 1910, on top of a tenement house in New York City. Wow, July the 4th. That's pretty amazing. Top of a tenement house, 1910. My mom was a softie. My folks used a leather belt and never got hit with a switch. Well, man, I was always tore up with switches. If Daddy had done it, it would have been a belt. That's what I used when I administered corporal punishment, but I always did it in a very measured sort of way. It was very measured, graduated, depending on what happened and how many offenses, and it usually start with a lick or two or three. And the kids knew exactly what to expect. There was no surprises. Symbiotic Finca says, hey, Greg. Well, hey to you. Good evening to everyone. It happens, says Dr. G-Man. God bless your dad, says AB. Brandy is talking to James and Symbiotic. Greg, they thought the thumbs down button was the download button. I think there's some out there that just don't like me. I get a lot of times I get one thumbs down on the video. And I think when that happens, there's one person out there who just wants to smack at the channel. So leather belts suck. Well, they're somewhat less than totally enjoyable. James Shaw, LOL, I'd ride my pony home and get my grandpa to dig up some money out of the bottom of a chicken house and ride on down to the jail and bond them out. Oh my gosh. Oh, so you're still telling the same story there about the stuff going on in your county. That's funny. I had a pony. And the pony I got, my uncle gave to me, the one that ran over me with a tractor when I was 2 years old. He gave me a pony. He used to do anything for me because he ran over me. And, he thought he came close to killing me. So that uncle would always do anything in the world for me. He gave me a pony. That pony was a Shetland pony. It was a beautiful little pony. It's a short little pony, color of clay. In fact, his name was Clay Boy, and he had a white and a pink stripe run down his nose, and a beautiful mane on him and tail. And but the guy that my uncle got him from shot and killed. Well, I gotta watch what I say here. He dispensed with the sheriff, because I'm on this platform, which don't like certain language. He dispatched a sheriff, let's put it that way, when he was 12 years old, because his family put him on post watching out for moonshine still. But so that the owner of that pony previously had done that kind of thing, but he was just a kid. So, you know, kids don't have quite the moral reservations we have as older people. They don't have that stop that we have. So maybe if he'd been older, he wouldn't have done it. But, you know, I don't know what kind of man he was. I have no idea. But that pony was mean as blazes. But the funny thing was, that pony was my first source of income, because he was so cute. Everybody wanted to breed their mares with that pony. So my very first income was, when I was a little kid, my first money was stud services. I kid you not. So I was a pony pimp. So I started my career as a pimp. Pony pimp. My pony. Well, you know, hey, it's farm life. What can you say? All right. Gary Pendleton. Oh, fat chicken and dummy. Brandy Ellen story. I remember my worst whipping. I don't remember what it was for. Last horse I tried to ride wouldn't move an inch. Well, that's funny. Oh yeah, the bad part was that would put the IRS on you to pay them some tax money. $160,000 on my mom because she claimed it because she was a woman. Didn't work. My mom went a step further, took 9 thin leather thongs. Ooh, okay, I bet that hurt. She called it a cat of 9 tails. Yeah, yeah, all right, that sounds rough. My dad would have been 104 tomorrow. Well, bless your dad, Randy. Bless your dad. Judy, you old floozy. Who you talking to, Judy? Whoa, I knew you were a pimp, says Sass Fresh Red. I go back laughing now. Me too, Greg. Hello, says Southern Boy Prepper. Yeah, well, if you had ponies and horses and, you know, a good bull, might be the case. Clove Hot, says April. Perham. Greg's nickname should be Pony Pimp. I hadn't been in that career in a long time. Let's put it this way. It's probably been about 50 years since I've exercised that in that career. Brady says, Jesus, that ain't right. Shaking my head. It was just my pop's birthday yesterday. Wow, we got a lot of people here with close birthdays for their pops. Isn't that amazing? I never rode with a saddle, just bridle. And hey, you know, I'd hop on that pony and just grab him by the mane and ride. But that pony was so mean, he wanted nothing more than knock you off. And he took me off a lot of times. I understand through Mr. Hogue that Ukraine is an antagonist, clearly another Russian smear. It's the antagonist. Well, you know, it's all a matter of perspective. You got separatists, supposedly separatists, which are really Spetsnaz, the special forces from Russia, according to Lee Wilbarger. But the attack on them by the Ukraine, well, one of the things that Ukraine apparently did that has prompted Russia is they claim they want to take Crimea back. Russia is not going to give Crimea to no one else. They would definitely fight a World War III to keep Crimea. So, because that's their main, more modern naval base. It's in the Black Sea, though, and you know it might not be easy getting in and out because we do have a NATO member who controls the strait in and out of it. But they also have another smaller base in Syria, and that's another reason that they're back in Syria, because they have a base in Syria too. So there are other bases, you know, up like the Barrett Sea, and of course the Kamchatka area. All right, so some more prepper. Alan story bareback riding is how I learned too. Quarter horses across the road. Use baling twine for halter and reins. I'll be darned. My dad was born March the 31st in 1906. Was a young man in depression. Oh wow, Laura Flarson. Shreveport. Okay, Goliath. I've been through Shreveport. Definitely have. You know, Doodly D's farm, just west of Shreveport over in Texas. I've been there. He does aquaponics. He's got a big aquaponics greenhouses. I've spent some time over there with him. Picked up some tips for what I want to do with mine, but I didn't quite do it the way he did it. Lake Charles area. Been there too. Been there too. Cool, bro. I will add you. Well, thank you, Eagle Eyes. All right, so let's go back and do another video, guys. Remember when your mom would say to you as a kid, don't run, you'll get that switch even more. Yeah, don't run, don't cry. Oh, that was hard to do when you're getting your rear end set on fire. All you can think to do is run and cry. Quit crying, quit crying. Yeah, they keep spanking you to quit crying. Yeah, it just didn't work out too well. Southern Boy Prayer, thank you, my friend. All right, well, thank you. So let's go do another video here, guys. I got to go back to my Zoom page and then go share. Hope I got this thing dialed up. Oh, you know what we'll have to do for this one? For this one, we got to go to, I think the next one, I didn't get the video pulled down. So we got to go to my channel and pull it up. So you're going to get to see how to pull these videos up. So what you do is when you pull my channel up, you just scroll down through all the playlist. And I've got first one is the recent uploads, and I got one called breaking news, and I got the worm farming, survival prepping with Green Greg's, and that's got a mix of topics, grid down, EMP prepping, microgreens. I haven't posted on there in a while, but I will come back to it. Aquaponics, Green Greg's Great Growing Garden. I like alliteration. Green Greg's Great Growing Garden. It's all about family and then fun stuff. I'm probably going to take these last two playlists off soon. I'll add this video to this playlist. So we played two. I think we played the oldest two. No, I think we have. Yeah, so we played these two. That's the oldest two. So this one should be the next one in the series, and then we'll do this one. So I'm going to play this one from here, and I think I can do this one straight from the video. But this one I'm going to play from my channel because I thought I had it, and apparently I don't. So we're going to play from the channel. So you might get a double penalty with ads here. So if that's the case, my apologies in advance. But I can't seem to find this video quick enough.
Art to me is really putting yourself in your work. I created this website called folkstudios.com.
All right, sorry about that.
He's about to tell us a story. What was you going to say?
But it was a place where Belgium called it Buzz Bomb Alley. It put a little bomb on there and had this motor and just enough gas. It run out in the fall. They're trying to hit the schoolhouse. Where we had headquarters and had a little house out front, way out next to the road, 4 rooms, and slept in that. No boy lay there sleep for the rest of that work. One hit right close by, knocked all the window lights out of that thing, and you never see him in the glass and soot. And we thought he was dead. Didn't even wake some gun up.
What kind of bomb was that?
Buzz bomb.
Buzz bomb. Oh, one of the buzz bombs. Okay, well,
Called it Buzz Bomb Alley.
V1.
Well, they hit a lot of them hit that field trying.
that was in Belgium
Yeah, during the Battle of the Bulge.
during the Battle of the Bulge.
Yeah.
You heard a lot of them when you were in London too, didn't you?
That was rockets over there.
Oh, that was the V2 rocket.
Yeah.
And
I felt jar left.
you got the jar from the V2 rocket sitting.
Yeah.
And so that buzz bomb covered the guy up in dust, and he didn't even wake up. Huh?
It blowed the windows out. It crossroad, land crossroad from him. And it's trying to get that school.
How many of you wish you could sleep like that?
How much snow did y'all have during the Battle of the Bulge?
Near the waist deep.
Really waist deep. That made it hard to fight, didn't it?
Yeah.
Made it hard to run too, didn't it?
We didn't run. We just strained wire and stuff. Climbing trees, trying to get out where the tanks wouldn't tear them up on the ground.
What was the best memory of World War II?
Best memory.
Yeah, I know you had a lot of bad memories. You probably don't want to talk about
End
that.
of it.
The end of it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear that. Coming home?
Yeah. It was about 6 months before we come home.
Yeah.
And all we come in December.
6 months after the war, because they were being staged, 6 months after the war in Europe, They were being staged, thought, they would have to go in for the Battle of Tokyo before he dropped the bomb. There was consideration that we would have a huge airborne drop into Japan. And it was thought that battle would kill 1 million people. So some people thought that the dropping of the bomb actually didn't kill as many people as would have been killed by the conventional battle that would have ensued. So I don't know, guys. That's a whole nother story. But
Yeah, well, y'all were sitting there. I think you was going to Japan, weren't you?
Yeah.
Well,
Okinawa. Well, we've seen some of them.
how long did the Battle of the Bulge last?
It started on the 16th of December and it lasts up in the spring.
You ever get paid for the chores you did at home?
No.
I didn't think so. Kids these days get
Yeah, but
allowance.
Stop didn't do them.
You got tore up, you didn't do them, huh? Yeah, I believe that. So, you ever able to work for anybody else and earn any money when you was growing up?
No,
Never had any money at all, huh?
no,
If you had gotten some money, what would you spend it on? You didn't have things back then,
no. Mom never got money. Worked out anything.
did he? So y'all worked all day and night and crazy hours, worked hard, and all that did just bought you a little cloth to make some clothes out of, and some coffee and sugar and salt. What were y'all able to buy?
Not much.
Not much. Did a lot of work and couldn't buy much with it, could you?
Right. Well, if you had got money to buy it, but you didn't have no money.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is y'all worked real hard and didn't make no money in it.
That's right.
Wasn't able to buy much. So people today wouldn't understand that. They wouldn't be working, busting the rear ends day in and day out.
Bust the rear end 10 cents an hour to get that.
Yeah.
Some of them 3 days for $1. Some of them.
What could you buy with $1 if you had $1 back then?
You're rich. Look like a bed sheet.
Well, a bed sheet.
Yeah.
That's what you buy as a bed sheet?
And what it looked like to us.
Oh.
it meant the money, $1 would have been so big, it would look like a bed sheet because it was outrageous to have $1.
So what would you, when you wasn't working, was there anything you could do for fun? You played baseball some,
A little bit.
a little bit.
90% of the time we had something to do if it wasn't. It's something passion, keep us busy.
Yeah. So when you was in school, y'all didn't get a summer break. They let y'all off in the spring and the fall to plant and harvest crops.
We went to school in the summertime and got off and picked cotton, then went back.
Yeah. You had to get off in the spring to help plant, didn't you?
Well, school usually run out there. We had short terms back then.
Did you?
About 5 months, by much school had a year. 5, 6.
Well, you graduated high school. Wasn't many people graduated high school back then, were there?
I think it was 28 of us.
28. Wow. And there's more people graduate college today than did high school back then, right?
Yeah.
Well,
Like an old guy said, his brother got out there not graduating from high school. He said, well, he thought me was the same as he could.
that's all that mattered, wasn't it?
Yeah.
What year did y'all get electrical power?
After World War II,
After World War II.
46.
So what y'all think about that, getting electricity?
My mama could see it as well, but the lamp.
Huh?
Mama thought she could see it as well, but the lamp, but she couldn't.
Oh, yeah. She
Right,
thought that kerosene lamp was good enough, huh?
Yeah.
So then y'all got some electric lights.
Yeah.
So first thing all the women in the morning was a refrigerator and electric stove.
Mama didn't want no electric stove.
She didn't.
Said it wouldn't cook like a wood stove.
Well, what did y'all do for heat when you was a kid? Did y'all have coal or did you have to cook with wood?
Cook wood, firewood.
Coal cost too much, didn't it?
Didn't have money to buy it.
That's what I thought. So y'all heated with a fireplace, huh?
Yeah.
Did you have a wood stove that stick out or did you use a fireplace?
Wood stove.
Wood stove. You use a wood stove and you had to cut wood to get warm. And you had to cut wood to eat, didn't you?
Yeah.
Every time you want to eat something, you had to go out and cut some wood.
Got the wood to cook.
Y'all had to really work for everything, didn't you?
We had to scratch for it.
Had to scratch for it.
Yeah.
And then that food had to come off the farm, didn't it?
Yeah. Very little.
Huh?
Very little you bought. Coffee and sugar,
Coffee, sugar, salt. What else would you buy?
flour.
Flour.
Yeah, that's about it.
That's about all you'd buy, huh?
Yeah.
Was there any much of anything called a restaurant back?
Now, so you work all year just to buy that. What about that, guys? Work real hard all year just having money to buy a little coffee, sugar, flour, a little cloth to make some clothes, maybe get shoes in the fall. That's what life was. And they worked hard. Kids today just wouldn't be able to imagine that. Their heads would explode. That's how it is when you don't have power and all the things that we have today. Life can be tough in a situation like that. And that's why I'm playing this, is just to get people to wake up to what's coming at us, and why, if we can prevent it, we really want to, because most people just can't handle what these guys had to go through. But that's why they were tough, and maybe why they lived so long. And that's what made them the greatest generation, in my opinion. Part of it, that and just their character.
Back in those days where you grew up?
Not many.
Not many. Did you ever get to go to one?
One time.
One time. Well, people eat out all the time now, don't they?
Yeah.
He went to a restaurant one time.
So what would you tell the kids today to think if a power grid goes down? What are you going to tell the kids? What should they do?
Do the best they can.
Do the best they can.
Yeah.
Lord Almighty. So how do you think they'll do?
They'd be mad and fight and everything else.
Well, that was everyday life for you, wasn't it?
Nearly.
Nearly. Well, you didn't know what electric power was till you was a grown man.
I'll tell you what.
Back from World War II.
I'll tell you what, something else. Kids don't know what work is.
Well, I know that.
A hard time either.
Yeah, that's going to be a big adjustment, ain't it?
Yeah.
It's going to be almost like a fight for them, ain't it?
Yeah.
Well, I believe that. So it's going to be hard to scrape up food and stay warm and eat.
Yeah.
And then water. So they got to, we don't have good wells and springs and everybody's on city water. Well, that'll run out when the pumps won't pump it anymore.
Yeah, we had spring and well water both.
Yeah, well, ain't nobody hardly got that anymore. So,
All of them got polluted now.
yeah. Well, I wonder if that's just the cities telling people that so they make you drink their water.
Well, it's actually trash as big as the well was now. Drill one be pretty for a while, and next thing you know, there's a lot of trash in it.
How comes that?
We go down through the soil.
Oh, because of the drilling
Yeah.
messed it up. Well, that's settled out over time, won't it?
No, it's seep in there between the rocks and things.
All right. Well, so what was your best memory of being sheriff besides?
Now, the reason he is looking back and forth, he's looking at me right there, but the video is actually being filmed by my youngest daughter, Angela. Angela was actually filming that. I was talking to him, but she was filming.
Watching crazy things people do.
I don't know.
Huh? Don't want to know? Okay. That's good enough. So you got any story about catching the moonshiners or anything you want to tell?
It's a lot of fun.
Catching was a lot of fun?
Yeah.
How was that?
Well, I can tell you a little bit nasty.
Oh, Lord. All right. Well, that's probably enough. Anything else you want to say?
No, that's enough.
I believe so.
All right. So, yikes. Gotta stop that share. So I'll go back and we'll look at the chat, and I'll play the final video, which should be not have to play from online. I think I got it in my directory. I got to go back and find that video. Somehow that's missing. So let's go back to our chat room here. Oh man, chat is rolling fast. Lots of chat here. Holy walking smoke moly. We got a lot of chat here. Hope I can catch up to it. So I can catch it where people were. I used to get beat every time AB says, I used to get beat with whatever was handy. Uh-oh. Greg, it's bots doing the thumbs down. Think so? Might be. Sassafras thread, good evening all. Congratulations again, Greg, on memories and love. Remember the dead fondly, for they will always be loved. There you go. Gary Pendleton, old fat hen. All right, I've read a few of these. Let's see. I got to figure out where I was at. Randy, my friend's horse, Billy Joe, would run up against the fence and under trees. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what my pony used to do. One time we had one of these fences that just had where the gate was just bars you'd pull across. So just big bars of wood. And we had 3 of them, and the lower one's down. That darn pony ran under the bars of the fence, went under that one where it was down, and knocked me off that way. And that pony got through there. Louisiana here, Eagle Eye view images. All right. Hard rubber hose. Well, I bet that hurts certification. Oh, her brother's getting it. A Fishes and Loaves Life says, oh, I just dreamed about hugging my dad Saturday night. Lost him at 93 to Alzheimer's, ALZ, 11 December 2018. He was in World War II also. Drove the brass around in the first Jeeps. Yeah, that's when the Jeeps came out. North Shore Professor. Good evening to you, Mr. Greg, and all in chat. Hopes all's well. Hey, North Shore, I just saw you over in Prepper Nurse One's site. Thank you for being here. Judy Dow, yep, hang on, enjoy the ride. Yeah, hello, Eagle Eye images. It's in Louisiana also. Ellen Story, bareback riding is how I learned too. My dad was born March 31st, 1906. Young man, I saw that one. Let's see. I'm try to catch up here. My dad was born in Shreveport. Okay. July. Images I added you just now. Okay, well, thank you. You added Eagle Eye. So I posted video driving to my oncologist, and I hit the cemetery to visit my son's dad. All right. Lake Charles, you are on the coast. Yeah, that's where Lake Charles is. Yeah, I had to stay there. I had a truck breakdown on me on my way to Texas to see my brand new granddaughter back when she was born, the youngest one. And I had to leave it there in Lake Charles for a while until they repaired the transmission in it. Man, I got lit. Dr. G, man. Yeah, I bet. I remember being told to stop crying. Yeah, I was kicking and screaming, says COLO, I guess, Colorado Jan. Yeah, I hear you. Some more Prepper Eagle Eye images. We got direct from the Hurricane Laura. My good. Fishes and Loaves. My daddy could stand on the farmhouse like a performer. My sister got the original picture of him doing it. And I told you up above about him in World War II also. That's awesome, Fishes and Loaves. And salute to him. All right, so what we got here? Eagle Eye images. Yeah, I heard 2 in a row. I remember that one. Hey, Mr. Allison, working 7 days lately. Good seeing you. Well, thank you, Ken. How you doing? Let's see here. Eagle Eyes. I love Greg Allison. Well, thank you, Eagle Eyes. So let's see what else we got here. You run, it's worse. Yeah, that was it. The more you ran, the more you cried, the worse, the harder it spank you. Oh, that was tough to deal with. Woo, that was tough to deal with. Southern Boy Prepper. Yes, I lost the barn and outbuilding. Barn and outbuilding roof on home had to be replaced. Oh, you had a storm. When? Thank you, Brandy Robinson. Says Fishes and Loaves. All right. Nothing's the same as long as Wilbarger maintains a Pentagon. So you ain't buying Lee Wilbarger. Okay. Well, he was there. why wouldn't you think Lee would be honest? And he's telling us his perspective. He's been a contractor with the Pentagon, but he's not working there right now, that they might recall him. Southern Boy Prepper, been real busy here. Hoping the rain holds. Yeah. We've had too much rain lately. James Shaw, nothing better than being raised in a working farm where kids could be kids. Well, amen to that. And I had that pleasure too. I read out Battle of the Bulge in U.S. history. Yeah, we're going to talk about Battle of the Bulge again a little bit. Bless his heart, the Southern Boy Prepper, right? Southern Boy Prepper, glad you're all right. I saw radar pictures of that tornado cell. Ooh, she's telling the Southern Boy Prepper. How the story was. Wow. Fishes and Loaves. Bring Greg's what theater was your dad serving in? He was in Europe. My dad was in Europe. So he started out in he got his training at Fort Monmouth, New Jersey, went to Iceland, went to England, jumped into probably France. He was in Belgium in the Battle of the Bulge, and he went into Germany. Northern Shore Preppers, thanks to the great man for his service. Well, thank you. Winter war, worst kind, yeah. Snow up to your waist. That was a big problem. I'm going to tell you why shortly. The snow in your waist that deep, that was really bad, considering some of the things the Germans pulled. I think my dad was witness to some of that. Military pay is better nowadays. Yeah, it's better than it was. The world wars were the worst. Can't imagine how terrible WWII will be. Hope we never find out. But gosh, we seem to be flirting with it real hard right now. Real hard. That's why I cover this stuff. Guys, you got to get prepared. I'm afraid we will have a winter war this winter. James Shaw, that's a point. People need to stock up. You know, right now we got the summer. Grow everything you can. Save all the seed you can. Put up all the food you can. I don't know. It may start this spring. RT Music Production says, awesome. Nothing as it seems says, I have more faith in the spider beings in Vietnam than the airliner crashing to the Pentagon. Oh, I see. James Saw, we always went to wars looking like war is coming to us now, I'm afraid. Yeah, there's a lot of signs. Southern Board, let's see, talking to each other night before the storm left, limbs everywhere. Nothing like Sally. She tosses South Alabama. Wow. James Shaw, just wondering what you think this winter, says Sandra. Want to know why he's thinking this winter. Yeah, I'm wondering if it's not going to happen a lot sooner. Echo in the Forest. Great grandpa in the Alamo. Great times 4 in the Civil War. Great times 6 in the Revolution. Enough already. All right, I hear you. I'm the story of World War. I've had ancestors in just about every American war. What I've found out, every American war, I've had some relative was in it. On one side of the family and another. I had somebody in every war. Uncles in Korea, brother in Vietnam. My son was in Kuwait. No, he was in the last Gulf War. So, yeah, I've had somebody in my family in just about every war America's ever had. Most of us Army. My granddad was in World War I. My dad was in World War II. And the Cold War was World War III. Well, I was in the Army too. I was all packed up to go to rescue the hostages in Iran. They changed the plan, and we had all our stuff at the Pope Air Force Base ready to go. I was sequestered 2 weeks. Thought I was going to Iran, but it didn't happen. I'm kind of glad it didn't go because we weren't ready for it. That's why that was such a fiasco. Southern Prepper. He has seen a lot of Greg, hard worker. He has seen a lot Greg, not a lot of Greg. Yeah, my dad was a hard worker, no kidding, real hard. Boy, if you didn't work hard around him, you didn't get any respect either. None. You know, if you worked hard, he respected you. If you didn't work hard, he'd say you were sorry. That's the way they were in his generation. They had no use for people that didn't work. And James saw, I'm still on my family farm, but now stocking up on supplies just in case a chemical attack. Well, you never know what it's going to be. All right, so I'm just wondering. Greased pigs. Oh, where do greased pigs come from? I say it smelled of boiling feathers, releasing them for plucking. Oh, I must have skipped down a whole bunch of messages. What happened? Daddy drove the GIs up to see the eagle's nest. Oh, yeah. Yeah. There you go. A lot of them saw the eagle's nest. Our dad got to see it. Well, that's where a lot of the troops were right at the end. They were up there in that area, that part of Germany. Chewy weather. Don't be scared. Just get prepared. Bingo. You got that right. What's coming at us, Chewy? He said we were safe here for about 5 days. We didn't get spankings. We got extra farm chores, said James Shaw. Back on the forest. Same here, Greg. Snapcrackers team's laughing. Mary Hughes. I'll scroll these things on these where I'm at. I don't scroll too well. Oh well. Randy Land, I'd pay money to see some tipsy adults try that. Oh. Francis, my youngest daughter's dad was prisoner of war in Vietnam for 1.5 years, kept naked in the mud and rain, and they threw a live chicken in the fence for the men to fight over. Oh, Lord. Lordy, Lordy. So I always had to shuck corn, still do every day. Sometimes I get sick of corn, says Dr. Jimen's place. Jimmy crack corn and I don't care. Jimmy crack corn and I don't care. Jimmy crack corn and I don't care, 'cause the master's gone away. Oh, shoe fly, don't bother me. Shoe fly, don't bother me. Shoe fly, don't bother me, because I belong to somebody. I feel like a morning star. Who's ever heard that? We actually sang that in school when I was in first grade. Now, I don't have the wording all right, probably, but that's kind of the way I remember it. Anybody ever sing that song in school? Or anybody remember it? My dad, pilot in the Korean War, me Navy. Okay. The fiddlers, Granny, I miss the fiddlers. There you go, fiddling. That was awesome stuff. My ancestry with wars begins with the Revolution, Civil War, World War I, II, Korea, Vietnam. My cousin served in Afghanistan and Iraq. Okay. Yeah, I got a cousin who was in Afghanistan. Sad thing, he couldn't handle me, or he couldn't help me raise her. Talking about your daughter's husband. Okay. Southern Pepper at Green Areas. I see the rockets on your shelf. I was at NASA at Stennis, Mississippi location for inspection I needed to do. I was able to be 100 yards from the Artemis 1 rockets test stand. Okay. Yeah, they just fired them. I did some videos on my Galactic Graves channel about that firing. So yeah, I got a space shuttle over here. These are mock-ups that my friend Ben Houston made for me of the they're 1/200 scale, which is the same as that. That's a 1/200 scale of the Starship, SpaceX Starship. And he gave me 2 because I'm going to talk in the future about linking these together as a strong back and how you can build on that, floating them in the atmosphere of Venus, and why they will float in the atmosphere of Venus. I'm going to talk to you about a Venus habitat. I got that for my own rockets that I developed and launched. And I got this for a conference that I shared back in 1993. 1993, I ran an International Space Development Conference. All right. She came from Alabama with a banjo on her knee. Oh, Louisiana, don't you cry for me. I'm from Alabama with a banjo on my knee. Hey, that was music, guys. That was music. I want to join the military, but politics are too much for me right now. Yeah, I don't know. You might be serving the New World Order. Yep, I did in California, but I'm old. Things are changing to the bad side, says certification. James Shaw, Afghanistan and all the wars are senseless. Well, you know, all wars are banker wars. Jeffrey Panther, who are we talking about? In NM, New Mexico. Don, Judy Dow, we sang Shoe Fly. Old Man Tucker, holding my bucket. I don't know that one. Dear Liza. Oh, Liza Jane. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, yeah. And plenty more. All right, Judy. Can you still sing? Old Man Tucker was a fine old man, washed his face in a frying pan, combed his head with a wagon wheel, died of a toothache in his heel. Granny Land Greg, I came in late as you were talking about your daddy. Okay, well, I'm going to do 2 more videos. Oh, I got 1 more video, I think, on my dad. I think I just done 3. So we got 1 more to go, if my count's right. And so we're going to talk about them some more. I'm just going through, trying to catch up on the chat, because when I'm playing the videos, the chat is rolling. So I come back and try to catch up on it. Daddy Square Dance, Mama Dance, the Cotton Eye Joe, and Scottish. Oh, okay. Messages are scrolling faster than I can read them. Brian, my dad drove a captain around base as an Army cook in Alaska. We're in Alaska. It was born in 1932. You see a vet wearing a hat, respecting, you know, they were badass. Yeah. This is your land. This land is your land. This land is my land. You got that right, Laura Larson. I remember when Yankee Doodle Danny was popular. Yankee Doodle went to town riding on a pony. I rode a pony. Fishes and loaves. All right, let me go back up. It's scrolling faster than I can read them. When I scroll back, I lose it. Oh, James Shaw. Okay, talking to James Shaw. Certification. I sang those songs in school. Okay. King Snurgles and the Viking. The states that resist the democratic agenda will all be at war with their own government. More weather warfare coming. Oh, Northern Shore preparedness. I remember when the Lord's Prayer and singing the national anthem at the beginning of the school day. There you go. There you go. Well, those days are gone. Yeah, I remember we'd have a prayer over the loudspeakers at school. No more voting. Ooh. So only song I recognized at the square dance was Rockin' Robin. Rockin' Robin. Yeah, that's a more recent one. And Snapcracker's team says that was music because it was original and they did not need music mixers. That's right. Here's an old show, Fireball XL5. Hi, Rocket Man. How you doing, Arnold? How you doing? All right, so we got 77 in the room. We keep about the same number. A lot of people coming in and out, but it's about the same number. We're right along the same level of people watching. We got 1 more video to show my dad. We've shown 3, and I'm going to talk about him in general, some of the stories and some of the things. He was a big inspiration in my life. He taught me a lot, gave me a lot of opportunity, but he expected a lot. Richard Bell, hey folks, Echo in the Forest, good song. And hi, Richard. Let's see, Granny, yes, back when we sang great songs, Yankee Doodle, etc. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Propel, propel, bear your craft. How about that? Gently down the solution. Merrily, 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 life is but an illusion. Ever heard that? Bow to the Green Beret. Love that one. Yeah. Yes, sir. Hey, you know, the John Wayne movie, The Green Berets, used to, the trailer that they would show at the beginning of the movie, and they hadn't seen it in the more recent versions, was these guys running through where they trained at. And I didn't notice until one day I was watching after the fact, and I recognized that was the same training ground I used at Fort Bragg, because it just so happened my unit was right next door to the Green Beret. I was headquarters coming to 426 Signal Battalion. Right next door was the Green Beret. I have friends in Green Beret, quite a few. Yeah, if it was not illegal, I wished I could just go in here and play songs and they wouldn't get a copyright strike. Be nice to play a few songs, wouldn't it? Happy birthday to your dad, Greg. Yep. One-eyed on horn flying purple people eater. There's a poem about the civil. This poem from that civil that became the state song of Texas. Yellow Rose of Texas. There you go. I feel more patriotism for a flag than our government, says Echo in the Forest. Vision Lows. My dad lost his staff sergeant stripe running another Jeep off the road with a high-ranking officer in it. He got it back, staying longer than other GIs to help collect items to go home. Well, my dad lost it and gained stripe a couple of times, I think. My dad made sergeant, but he made rank, got busted, made rank. The teachers used to have me catch bees and put them outside the window. I used to catch them in honeybees in little matchboxes. I take the matchbox and I shake it up and put it in the dog's ear, and the dog, boom, take off running. Pin several wings on my son's chest. Make him one of America's best. Right. That was the story. Also, glory, glory, what a hell of a way to die. Glory, glory, what a hell of a way to die. Blood and the Risers. Check that song out. Ooh-wee. That's a rough song, but tells you the spirit of the airborne guys. All right, guys, let's go in and check out my last video here on my dad. My dad was a staff sergeant and an MP. And when I went in the Army, they wanted me to be an MP, but I didn't want no part of that because I used to get so many traffic tickets. I love speeding. I didn't want to have to arrest somebody else for speeding. I just thought that was awful. Open a chat room on Pal Talk, Greg. You can play music and do whatever you want there. Pal Talk. To find out what that is. I know Glory, Glory, and that's Gory, Gory, not Glory, Glory. Glory, Glory is, a different song. Gory, Gory uses the same tune. Gory, Gory is a bloody song about airborne troops not making it. My dad was only a simple corporal. Well, I got out of the Army as an E4 myself. Sounds like our dads would have enjoyed each other's company. He hated when people were lazy. All right, there you go, fishes and loaves. The strip may fall whilst you doing the job, but you will always remain with you. Okay, stripe. Okay. Discord. I can't load Discord. It got messed up when I tried to load it before and take it off. I can't take it off. Gory, gory. How a teacher hit me with a ruler. Hey, I got hit by the ruler. That teacher broke my own ruler over my head once. Blood on the risers. Yeah, that's true. That's it. Blood on the risers. So I'm talking about, Dr. G, man. Yeah. All right, guys. We're going to go find another video here. I got to go back and see if I got it pulled up. Do I have it scrolled up? Let me check and see. Ding, 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 ding. No, I ain't got it started. So I got to go queue it up. Hang on, guys. I got to queue up the video and I got to share it. So we're about to go watch the movies again with my dad. All right. So give me one momentum, please. So I got to find the right place to click here. I got so many things open. Dad, I'm going to not go to my website this time. And this is, I think, our final video in the series. I'm going to open it up. I'm going to come into my Zoom room, Zoom meeting control, hit share screen, and yeah. I got to make sure I got the right one. Yeah, because there's so many things that look alike here. Open, and here we are, and off we go. Again, you'll hear me.
Hello, this is Greg Allison from Green Greg's Garden and Worm Farm, coming to you from my log barn. The video I'm about to show you is of my dad, my 98-year-old dad, talking about what they used to do when he was a child back before and during the Great Depression, how they used to feed their families from the farm. How farmers actually took care and fed themselves. Something not happening today. Just see my last video here of why farmers will starve to death on the farms. In any event, this will be a little bit short because I ran out of battery power before I really interviewed as much as I wanted to. But this is an introduction to that topic. And I think you'll find it interesting. My 98-year-old dad, when I got there last Saturday, or Saturday before last, excuse me, he just came in from mowing his yard. Yeah, my 98-year-old dad mows his yard, drives, cooks, cleans, takes care of himself, and lives by himself. So, yeah, eating food from the farm can be good for you. I hope you enjoy the video. Oh, by the way, subscribe to my channel, bang the update notification bell to see my other videos, and check out the sources below to support my channel. Check the links below to True Leaf Market for seeds that you can use for your garden, heirloom seeds. And also check, also if you do microgreens, they have great supplies for microgreens, all kinds of supplies for that, all your gardening needs. Also look for your prepping supplies. My Patriot Supply, whole wide range of things there for prepping, survival. And if you're doing your own gardening and you don't want to have to buy fertilizer, if you want to do it the old way, where you make your own fertilizer and take care of your garden organically, hey, you need earthworms. Check my source below, because guess what? I do sell earthworms.
Well, not right now, but I will be hopefully again in about 3 weeks.
And as an example, there's some right here, ready to be shipped out. These are some small packages. These are all little 1 pound packages. In any event, Greg Allison, hope you enjoy the video. So Daddy, back when you was growing up, y'all pretty much lived from y'all's garden. Y'all had to raise everything y'all ate pretty much in the garden, and the chickens and things like that. Fields,
Cows, milk.
Cows, milk.
Eggs, hogs,
So,
meat.
all right, when it comes to the cow, y'all had a milk cow, right?
Yeah.
Now the milk cow would have to have a calf to make milk. What would y'all would kill the calf and eat it, or what would y'all do?
Just drink. Just strain it and drink it.
Oh, well, the milk, yeah, but what about the calf? Did y'all kill the calf to eat it after
No, usually sold them
you sold the calf?
most time.
All right, well, y'all wouldn't know what to do with that much meat no way, would you, back in the day?
We had it home all the time.
But y'all salted and smoked the hog meat, right?
Yeah, part of it.
That's kind of hard to do with a pig, a cow, though, wasn't it? Yeah, it worked for hogs better. Well, and you said you kill, what time of year did y'all kill your hogs?
Probably November when it's cold spell.
Cold spell?
I mean, that cold days when we killed hogs.
Yeah, I remember you talking about hog killing day. It had to be near freezing, wasn't it?
Yeah, I spewed everywhere.
I spewed everywhere. Now, y'all had you and your brother and 2 sisters, your mom and dad. That was 6 people. How big a garden would it take to feed y'all back in the day?
We didn't have too big ones. We always planted peas, get them dry and cook them all winter.
Well, was that part of the garden, or was that a pea patch?
Is that the corn? Well, we had pea patch too. Big peanut patch. Syrup cane, make syrup.
So all that wasn't what he called the garden. The garden was the vegetable garden. That was all just something else.
So that wasn't part of what you called your garden, but you had areas that you grew all that stuff in.
Sweet potatoes, Irish potatoes, heal them up.
How much land do you think it'd take to grow all that, to feed a family of 6 when you was growing up?
About a couple acres.
A couple acres?
Yeah.
Well, that's what I wanted to know. That's one of the things I wanted to know. A couple acres to feed a family. Now, y'all row cropped in the day, didn't you? It's all row cropped in the hill.
So you can do it more efficient growing than raised beds, but it took 2 acres to feed 6 people back then. 2 acres. Plus they had the grain on top of that from the corn to make cornbread from, and they bought flour for bread. So the 2 acres didn't produce everything they ate, but they grew on 2 acres and produced a lot of what they ate. So imagine that. But it was row cropped. I mean, if you use raised beds, you can grow a lot more intensively than they did back in the day. Like the DeVace family grows 7,000 pounds of food on 1/10 of an acre every year.
It's rows and hills. Did y'all plant the peas and corn together?
No, plant peas when they laid the corn by.
Okay. So yeah, for the peas. Now, what about, did y'all have any runner beans, snap beans you grow in the corn? You did?
Yeah.
Did y'all plant squash there among the corn? You just did.
No.
You planted squash out in the garden, didn't you?
Some people planted pumpkins in the garden, corn.
They planted pumpkins in the corn.
A lot of people did.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
Together corn, pumpkin, same time.
Y'all ever plant carrots and tomatoes together or anything like that?
No. All had a lot of stuff.
No companion plant.
What did y'all do to keep the insects and bugs out of the gardening crop?
We didn't have like we got now.
Well, I know that. So what did y'all do? They may come, we might not have it again. That's what I want to know.
A little cheap deers or something like that.
A cheap what?
Insecticide is called deers or something.
Oh, y'all did have an insecticide.
Yeah.
What did y'all do for fertilizer? Y'all didn't. You didn't have all the stuff they got these days.
We always mixed it. Potash.
Potash.
Nitrogen and
Potassium.
They're kind of trying to think. 3 different things.
That's about it.
Yeah.
You use that for phosphorus. You use that in the
Phosphorus.
garden and the fields.
Yeah. And clean that barn, use the garden out of it.
So you clean the barn out and use that in the garden. So you had a manure compost.
Yeah.
You make compost any other way other than clean the barn out?
No,
Okay.
So then
So you
recycle.
don't keep a compost pile. Well, y'all fed a family out of all that. 2 acres plus you had your pigs and you had chickens and eggs. Chickens just ran around the yard back in the day.
yeah,
What kind of chickens do y'all like the best back then?
it's mixed up.
I mean, these days, most people chickens would be getting ate by the wild animals out there these days. So how did y'all? I remember I had game chickens and nothing bothered. So, but y'all's chickens ran around the yard. I remember when I was a kid. Your house, Ma's house.
They had a root place there close to the old crib back. Shit all night with the roots and they just run wild out there.
Yeah. Well, they were hardy chickens, I guess. Nothing would bother them. They were the survivors. Once these chickens you get these days wouldn't survive. Well,
Only dried a lot of apples too.
dried a lot of apples. Yeah, you had an orchard. I remember she'd dry them on tin when I was a kid and make her dried apple pies.
Oh, they're good.
Yeah, we all love those dried apple pies. I remember that. So, now y'all grew your own corn in the field that you dried for cornmeal, take it to the crusher,
Get it head ground.
and a lot of your animal feed too, right?
Fed ears and animals.
What?
Just fed ears of corn to get hogs and
Whole ears,
home deals.
mules, they eat the whole ear, huh? Okay, so you
All
didn't,
the cows.
okay, you didn't have to crush it, you just fed them to them that way. All right. Well, the mule eat the cob?
Some of them eat part of the cob.
Oh, yeah? Hog eat everything though, wouldn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah, I believe that. So, yeah, I think we may have hard times again. So it's important for people these days to know how you used to do it.
People didn't have money to buy nothing else with hard.
Well, it may not be in the stores. If the power grid goes down, we might not have a store anywhere to go to buy anything. People have to make everything they have.
And buy salt.
And people don't know how to do that now.
Salt, sugar, and coffee, about all their bulk.
Salt, sugar, and coffee, flour. Salt, sugar, coffee, and flour. That's about all y'all bought.
That's about it. So you take hogs, you had meat, you lard.
Y'all worked all year, worked your tails off just to have money to buy
Farming
that.
Farming back in about 6 months a year more.
Yeah.
In spring, getting crop laid by and then give it.
So what'd you do the other 6 months?
And then I'm gonna find something to do.
Well, y'all had to cut wood and a lot of other stuff, didn't you?
Keep bars cut, sprouts.
Y'all ever forage for wild things to eat out of the forest or
No,
no?
when they would buy shield shoot,
When they had no money to buy a shell to shoot anything, huh? What about wild plants? Y'all ever eat any wild plants other than poke salad? No?
I'm on to folks say about once a year.
Did you? Yeah.
You know, people back in, they get salt and peel it, chop it up, do it like okra, eat like okra.
The stalks? Yeah.
Folks said,
Well, but would they boil it and throw the water out a few times?
I don't remember how to do it.
I think that's what they did. So, but once it starts turning colors, they wouldn't use it, would they? It's considered poison.
All right. Well, let's stop that. Stop that share. I'm going to stop that video. All right. We have played 4 videos now. My dad. That's really all I got for videos. I got some stories. We can talk a little bit about that. So we're going to go back here. I'm going to catch up on the chat again, and I'll tell some stories from my dad. So I'm going to have to go back up the chat session here a little bit. So hang on. Let's scroll back up to see where I left off. Get close to it. Wow, I missed a lot of chat here. Wow, way back up the list here to try to catch up. All right, I think I got there now. Eagle Eyes Vision says, we love you, bro. Bo, appreciate that. I wish I had videos of my mom. Great birthday tribute. Yeah, I wish I had of my mom too. Got pictures. A lot of pictures. Remember the Shirley Temple days. Yeah, Northern Shore Preparedness. I apologize, Greg, and chat, but I must retire. Yeah, we are getting late. I understand that. That's okay. Seeing the hi, Greg. Happy heavenly birthday to your dad. Well, thank you. Echo in the forest. Oh, shades of none flashbacks. My son likes to sing "Ring Around the Rosie." It gives me the creeps. Yeah, it is a creepy song. And you know what it's really all about. Paddles with holes. Oh yeah, the teachers had those. Ding, 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 says Snapcrackers team. All right. Richard Bell. Pal Talk is a place you can create your own chat room. I have to check that out. Pal Talk. I don't really know that. Jingle bells, shotgun shells, rabbits, all the way. Oh, what fun it is to go ride on Grandpa's model. Hey, oh yeah, we're saying ours a little different, Colorado. Randy Robinson. Give me my shelter. All right. Cosmic Gypsy. Dad did 27 years. They gave him 30 to leave early. He only made E7. Cook ended up in Independence. Ended up on Independence 62. On the forest. Granny, I got the wrong end of one of those reading in class. Ah, yeah. For reading in class. Oh. Paddle with holes. King Snurgleson, Gurgleson, or Snurgle Gurgleson. I'll get it right here eventually. The Viking. I'm talking about Richard Bell. Okay. They seem like quite a man, says Dr. G-Man's place. Thank you. Let's see. Nice. I remember this video. Okay, good. Good. At least seen it. And Joanne says, call me. You want me to call you home? Do I have your phone number? I want to send it to me through Facebook again to make sure I still got it. I don't know if did I have your phone number? If I did, it'll be in my phone. New, send some hearts. Richard Bell, Cole King. I used to have a big chat room. Oh. Nice. Greg says, Granny. Wow, he looks good for 98. Well, he did pretty good when he was 99, or almost 99. My dad almost lived to be 99. He was 3 weeks shy of being 99. 3 weeks shy when he passed away. Just don't milk a bull. No. Oh, I used to have fun out of City Slicker kids coming out of the farm. They thought they thought the one with the horns was the bull. In our case, we usually had a Jersey or a Guernsey or a Jersey milk cow, and the Jersey had horns, and that was the cow. But the city kids always thought that was the bull because it had the horns. And I used to tell them that they had 4 tits, and one was milk, one was chocolate milk, and one was orange juice, and the other was something else. I tell them stuff like that, and they wouldn't know what I was saying. I tell them you pump the tail to get the milk out. I tell them all kind of stuff. Of course, I had a lot of fun catching them up on electric fences too. So yeah, country boy has some fun. And no, you don't get the milk out by pumping the tail, just in case you don't know. And the only thing they have is regular milk, and it's raw and unfiltered milk. It's got all the fats in it and everything when it comes out of the cow. It's really, that's the best milk in the world. Happy, and it tastes better than any milk. You can get real raw, fresh cow milk. That's it, buddy. You don't get nothing like that today. They want you to eat that homogenized stuff that's been skimmed to get the cream off of it. Yeah, you don't get the good stuff. Happy birthday, your daddy from the Gulf Coast of Alabama. Casual Fairness, thank you. Ken Wilson, Pops raised you well, Greg. Well, thank you. Yeah, well, he had a lot of character in him, and he tried to impart as much as he could in us. I imagine he got a little bit into us. So my mom's dad and mom were farmers, says SSW 32040. Keep on farming. There you go, Nunu. James Shaw Gregg. Is a 1862 Confederate note worth anything? Yeah, as a collector's item, you know, there's a currency note, but as a collector's item, if you got a real one, there was a lot of fake ones printed just, you know, for fun. I've got some of that. But yeah, if you got a real one, it's got to be worth something. Came across one in our kitchen drawer. Wow. James, where you at getting Confederate money? You know, I used to have a tag on the front of my pickup truck, and it was on my pickup truck. I always carried it from the time I first got a car until the day before I left Alaska. I guess the wind either blew it off my truck or somebody stole it, because I was in the temporary housing getting ready to leave Fort Greely, Alaska. Somebody might have stole it. But it said, "Save your Confederate money, boys, because the South's going to rise again." Yeah, I used to have that on a tag. Farming is easy once you do it. I don't know. You better go back and listen to my dad. They really had to scratch at it. Of course, we do know a few more tricks now, because we've had a lot of people sharing a lot of knowledge over the decades, and organic farming and our communities or our YouTube channels. We share a lot of information, a lot more these days than what it used to be shared. But at the same time, they lived it. They did it. That's kind of hard to compare with. Old as dirt, James Shaw. Well, I think it's a collector's item. Yeah, it should be. My grandpa, I just lost. My grandpa didn't have 3 meals a day until he joined the Marines. Yeah, I believe that. Are you gone, Brandy? Did I miss it? Not Brandy. All right, we got that. Brandy, or maybe not. There's plenty of sites to check. How big is an acre by feet? An acre is 43,560 square feet. Any way you want to slice it. So if you want to, what's it by 100? We'll divide 100 in 43,560. 43,560 square feet per acre. Yeah. Night in North Shore. Singularly, God will provide, reap in what you sow. Okay. Sonification, talking to Brandy. Richard Bell, I plant my pumpkins in the corn with pole beans. There you go. There you go. That's what I was trying to get at talking to my dad. Brandon Robinson, I'm old as dirt, not even think. Oh, James. Sam, thank you. Homestead Os, thank you. Okay. Cow poop, says Cindy Lou. Yeah, cow poop, that's some good stuff. And there's the answer from Judy Dow. She said sweet feet. I assume you mean square feet. 43,560. Amen for that. Judy knows. See, one farm in my family is about 448 acres. Oh, that's awesome. Judy corrected herself, square feet. Jamie Shaw, look on the line for places they would have a person to contact you personally. What places do? Look online for places they. What are we talking about? Old as dirt. Old as dirt is a regular on Lee Barter's channel. Old as dirt, you're don't you have a ranch on Lee's channel? I believe you do. Visions loves. eBay is always a quick way to check pieces of stuff like they do James Shaw. Okay. Yeah, as long as we got eBay, Greg goes down, that stuff's going out. Shout to Zach, Vietnam Airborne Vet. All right. James Shaw, thank you. King Snurgelson talking to Richard. 660 feet by 60 feet. The fishes and lows. Cow poop, make sure the soil is rich. That's right. 7th generation on your farm. That's awesome, James. That's awesome. Bigfoot stole our chickens one at a time. Uh-oh, snap crackers. Ellen. Potash is potassium. Can 1 from dry wood ash, nitrates from dung. Yep. Or green leafy stuff, green manure. We had some game chickens with their spurs. Yeah, I used to have a lot of game chickens. Don't throw nothing away from years and years, says James. There you go. I got flopped a lot by setting the hinge, mean flogged. Yeah, might have felt flopped and flogged hard. When fish were perched to bury in the garden for fertilizer, this Eklund Forest. Well, that's pretty cool. Chicken poop real hot. Yeah, it needs to be spread out. It's got so much nitrogen in it. Fish guts for tomato plants. Chicken squat. Pick it up while it's hot. Put it in the pot. Cook it. Eat it while it's hot. I always say crazy stuff when I was a kid. Fishes and loaves. I'm all. Okay, let's see. Greg, we are telling James how to check valve on his note, or the value on his note. Okay. This dirt got a wrench. That's what I thought. Little Burger's channel. Yeah, I should give him a wrench next time I see him pop up here in the chat. Got knocked out. Oh, G-Man is thanking everybody for the service. Well, we called it flopped. Oh, you call getting, well, we called it flogged because the chickens flop their wings. Yeah, they can also flog you with that beak. They peck you. That ain't no fun. Yeah, those wings can get you too. I'm gonna scroll back up and see if I can find old as dirt. The old as dirt's been in here many times. Many times. He's a good regular. There it is. Oh, he went out for the night. You got to get up early in the morning. All right. Slop buckets and burn barrels. Yeah, I know about that. Never had no garbage problem. That's right, Gypsy. Throw my eggshells under the dog rose bush. Rip my condolences, Greg. My uncle died in 03. Yeah, I do miss my dad because I used to just could call him and ask him questions, something about a gardening, something about, just how they did things way back when. And all that's valuable information. I used to just love to ask him about that kind of stuff. So I miss that. My dog got beat up by a rooster. Yeah, a rooster can do that. Oh, I have wrung a chicken neck before. Yeah, I've done it too. Kind of interesting. The dog just pooped up rosebush. Happy birthday to your father. Well, thank you, Buffalo Patriot. So, oh my God, there's so many stories and things. Somebody asked about the USDA. So let's go to that. It's kind of late here, but my dad had ABC News crews come out twice when I was growing up and filmed big specials. The first one was a 1 hour special called Green Grow the Money. Probably can't find it now, because that was back in the early 70s. Yeah, early 70s, maybe 72, 73. Green Grow the Money. And then about 3 years later, they came back and did another special. Those ABC News crews came to the house. And my dad had other inspections. My dad used to be a president of a USDA chicken inspector local over the whole Southeast. My dad was president of the whole Southeast. My dad used to travel to Washington, D.C. a lot. I did the same, but I was doing it for the National Space Society. For 20 years, I went to Washington, D.C. at least once a year without skipping. So I spent a good bit of time in Washington, D.C. for many different reasons, really. But and my dad used to go there too. My dad didn't want to go back, though. He hated the place. He was offered a free trip up to see the new Veterans Memorial for World War II, and he didn't want to go because he just didn't want to go to Washington, D.C. It had a feel of it. But my dad and other inspectors, made the allegation that the USDA was feeding arsenic to the chickens all the way up to the time of slaughter. And there was a regulation at the time that said they had to cut the arsenic out of the feed 6 weeks before slaughter. They would feed chickens arsenic because it would make them grow out faster, make them get fat and put on weight a lot quicker. Fat, they would actually build muscle mass, but it was chemically induced. And arsenic is one of those bioaccumulative things. Yeah, there's some organic arsenics that, it's in the environment, but this is not that kind of arsenic. And they were putting it in the feed, and they were feeding chickens to it. It's like I said, it's bioaccumulative. You ingest that, it stays in you. So if you eat more and more chicken, you get more and more of that stuff. And so my dad made the allegation to the ABC News and said that, they feed them the arsenic all the way up to slaughter. And so my dad showed them where to go, where they just harvested chickens. So the ABC News team went in there and harvested the feed, and they went off and tested it in the lab. And I got to see them when they mixed the video. I saw my dad being interviewed. But later, when I actually saw it play out on the news, you'd see them mix it, and cut back and forth. And then they have a scene of my dad saying that they put the arsenic in, and they show my dad basically showing them where the chicken house was to test. And they would cut to a scene where the secretary, they went straight to the Secretary of Agriculture, Earl Butz, and he's the one that really pushed everything toward the huge corporate farms that we have today. Earl Butz probably did more to destroy the family farm than anybody. So I'm no fan of Earl Butz. He was the Secretary of Agriculture under President Nixon, probably the worst Secretary of Agriculture we ever had. He didn't serve the family farm at all. He led what's wiped out a lot of family farms since the beginning of it. There's been many pressures to do that these days, but this was a little bit different. It was about corruption in the system and putting feed out that shouldn't be out. And Earl Butz says, no, they don't. That feed is cut out, and there's no arsenic in the feed when they go up to harvest. And the guy pressed him on it again, and he said, absolutely, there's no arsenic in the feed. And next they cut to the lab where they got to experiment, and there was arsenic right there, picked out of the feed troughs where the chickens were just harvested. So my dad my dad made the allegation. He took them to the place where they harvested the feed. They pulled that feed and they tested it, and sure enough, bang, arsenic, just like my dad said. So I got to watch my dad make a liar out of his boss, because my dad still worked for the USDA at the time. My dad made a liar out of his top boss. My dad has some cojones. My dad worked for the Department of Agriculture. He made his top boss a liar on national TV, on a national ABC News special called Green Grow the Money. Sure enough, it made a liar out of Earl Butz. And, that name fits him, fit him well, the Earl of Butz. So, I was pretty impressed to see that when I was a kid. It's like, wow, my dad did not like Nixon at all. So that was very interesting. All that came out the way it did. Fishes and Loaves, Earl Butz's name suits him. I know there's quite a delay between the time that these messages show up. So, and also before y'all hear me, there's quite a delay built in. So let me scan back and see what I'm missing in the chat. So that's one of the things I got to see my dad do. I'm gonna tell you about the Battle of the Bulge here in a little bit. See what I'm missing in the chat room. Wow, quite a bit. I've chatted a lot just since I last checked a few minutes ago. Wow, quite a bit. My uncle served 67, 72, decorated Purple Heart. Okay. AAA Beverages, James Shaw Family Farm in Cypress End, Tennessee, Wayne County. All right. Christy Harp, I fell head first in the slop bucket when I was just a baby. Well, you survived. That's good. Babies can drown in buckets, you know. I've been throwing the cat litter against the fence for around the backyard. Cat litter. Lately, I used pine pellet type. But what does it do to throw the cat litter against the fence? Breaking down nicely into compost. Cat litter? I miss my grandpa and ma so bad. I still cry, says Granny Lana. Yeah. A rooster will flog you with his feet. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We got those spurs. If they got spurs on their feet, they can tear you up. It will literally throw punches left and right. I had an old rooster, and he would beat your legs pretty good. Oh, yeah. Fishes and loads. Yes, they will to kill the animals and gain control of the food. Yeah, no kidding. I say, I bet I might be on here maybe. What are you talking about, fishes and loads? King Snurgleson, Snurgle Gurgleson. King Snurgle Gurgleson, like Greg. Snurgle Gurgle is my humorous nickname for King C-N-U-T. King Knut, the Viking king that commanded the sea tide not to come in. So you could say my name means son of a. Oh, okay. All right. Snurgle Gurgle. Snurgle Gurgle son. Catherine, I was visiting my daughter having tea on the step and a chicken drank my tea. Must have been good tea. Ellen Story, grease is acid. Roses love that. Oh, yeah. Roses would. So would blueberries. Cooking fat, that is. Bacon grease and such. Yeah. Well, we used to make red-eye gravy out of bacon grease, and red-eye gravy was good to sop cornbread into. Who remembers red-eye gravy here? Sad I lost my mom 2 years ago. Daddy's still alive. Oh, Daddy's still alive. Arnold Schmidt says, I'm glad that spring is here. Amen to that. Time to do some yard work, Rocket Man. You're lucky to live where you do. You have 8 months of growing time. Yep, that's true. It's a good reason to be here. But, you know, you do have more daylight in the summer up north. You can grow some big leafy vegetables up there. Your dad and you did a lot. Well, thank you, SSW3 240. Ken Wilson, talking to Brandy. Let's see. A lot of people talking to each other. Appleseed says up from the forest, Granny Land. I lost mine too. Oh, okay, Brandy. Have arsenic, says Echo in the Forest. Rooster can spur you. Yeah, sure enough, Judy. 4 to 5 inch long spurs. Yeah, that is no good. I think they kill each other with those things. DC is a cesspool nowadays, says Snapcrackers team. Yeah. Ellen Story, both FDA and AMA and the DEA are corrupt agencies. They all are. Go watch my video about how government is actually run. Maybe I should pull it up. Y'all want to see that tonight? Might be a good way to pay some honor to my dad who busted them pretty good. Your dad had guts. Nowadays, he'd be arrested for saying things like that. My dad would cuss them out. I mean, my dad would. My dad was fiery. You know, shoot, man, he didn't take nothing off of them. Well, he had that union to back him up too, and being president of it gave him a little clout. But my dad he didn't care, man. He didn't like the vets that ran the chicken plants because they would let a lot of stuff go that they were trained to call out because it was cancerous and had all kind of problems, nasty stuff. And, you know, there's a few veterinarians he respected, but mostly he didn't like a lot of the veterinarians because of that. My dad was a firecracker, and he didn't put up with nothing from nobody. My dad was scrappy, and he'd fight, but he was smart. He was smart. You know, like I said, he came off a farm with no power, went in the Army, never drove a vehicle in his life, and he was driving a Jeep and wiring telephone switchboards and climbing poles and doing all that kind of stuff, jumping out of airplanes. So, you know, my dad learned a lot fast, but he came from a world with no power to that. Your day to live longer. And yeah, he did. He did. He sure did. Happy Greg's dad's birthday. Closed for my parents. They were both passed. Sorry about that. Will he fix it? All right. The time when we had Leghorns and Red Island Reds, Long Island, what do you call them? Rhode Island Reds. Rhode Island Reds. That's what you mean. Leghorns. Rainy, yes. Amanda B. How you doing, Amanda? Amanda, you just came in the room. I've just played 4 videos of my dad, and we've done a lot of talking in between and along the way. I've been reading the chat room along the way. A lot of people sharing a lot here. And thank you. Much love to you, Amanda. You're always so sweet and such a good lady here. Rainy Atlanta, yes, but yes, let's see your dad. Well, Granny, I just did 4 videos on him. So I'm talking about him. So now, yeah, he taught us well, sir. Thank you. And without power, we will be okay. Well, a lot of people won't be able to handle it. And, you know, there's going to be a lot of issues when you can't pump fuel or anything else. Power is so important in our modern society today. It's the Achilles heel to everything. You're correct. We got into it with the USDA, and they corrupted since like forever. Yeah, Snapcrackers team. Colorado Jan and the Fishes and Lowe's lives. You don't know they did. I just thought I should talk to her. Greg, yes, Greg's dad is major. Well, thank you, Granny. And let's say yes, Rhode Island Reds. Yeah, exactly. Granny was amazing. Cosmic Gypsy. Now you're talking my language, says James. Dads and paws are the best. We miss them a lot. Yep. Hit the like button, says Granny. Thank you, Granny. Appreciate that. Ella Vincent, got to get going. It's getting late, but thank you, Green Greg, for sharing your dad's birthday remembrance with us. Well, thank you, Evelyn. I appreciate you being here. I really do. And yes, they are, says, Granny says, yes. Oh, call her the top of Granny. Fishing with my dad and all his siblings ended up with Alzheimer's, trying to figure out, oh, that's sad. That's so sad, Alzheimer's. Well, my dad had his mind. He had a very sharp wit to his last day. And I wished he could have lived this year. And you know, he loved football and he loved Alabama football. I wish he could have seen Alabama be champions again, at least this last year. If he could have just made it 100, he would have been such a happy man. Well, he was in general. Greg, there's ways to protect computer vehicles. All right. So take care, Evan. All right, says Arnold. All right, let's talk Battle of the Bulge. My dad was captured twice in World War II. One of the times he was captured, I think they recaught him and he got away again. I think they captured him, he got away, they recaptured him, he got away again. But when he got captured, the Allies, the Air Force, Army Air Corps actually, had fighter planes flying over, strafing the position where he was at. I mean, they were just flying over, strafing the Germans, strafing the positions, and he got away. Randy Robinson, roll tide, amen. My dad's getting to see him. I'm sorry to hear that, Granny. Yeah, it's hard to lose people. You're right, Brian. So Amanda says, woman, get it. Mine, men seem the power on. Not sure what you're saying. Pop was, says Amanda. All right, so on that occasion, he got away. Cause when they were strafing, they lost tension. What's going on? My dad just got up and ran. They caught him again, and the position is that got strafed and ran away again. My dad was a good runner. My dad, when I was a kid, I used to see him catch jackrabbits out in the field, or just rabbits, wasn't jackrabbits, but I've seen him run rabbits down and catch them. My dad was a good runner. In fact, one of the reasons he caught 400 moonshiners in direct operations, he outrun everybody but two. One of them took off because he basically got shot at by another deputy, but he actually shot in the air, scared him. The guy actually jumped a car, crossed the road, and disappeared. That guy could run. And there was another case where the guy hid. My dad couldn't find him. I remember one time I was in a restaurant. My dad said, "That's one that got away from you because he hid." That guy didn't say anything good to my dad like a lot of them did. So there was, when we were watching the movie, I watched the movie The Battle of the Bulge with my dad. And one of the things they portrayed in the movie The Battle of the Bulge was once they captured a bunch of Americans, the Germans made out like they were going to feed them. They got them to line up for chow. They had a little wagon and a trailer there behind wherever they were driving. They thought it was a food wagon, and they would pull the canvas back and it'd have a machine gun in it, and they would just mow the Americans down. They would just kill them. They were captured. When you got captured, you weren't supposed to be killed. But I guess the Battle of the Bulge got pretty strained there, and the Germans were actually machine gunning the Americans that they had captured. They thought they were lining up to get fed, and they got machine gunned. As you heard my dad say, the snow was way steep, so the guys had a hard time running at that point in time. When he showed that, my dad, it really hit him, and he almost teared up. I ain't never seen my dad react like that. And my dad would tell about anything. I asked my dad, "What happened?" And he didn't want to talk. I just kept pressing him. He didn't want to talk about it. He didn't want no part of it. And finally, he admitted he was captured in the Battle of the Bulge, and he wouldn't talk about it any further. But I can only speculate that he was actually witness to some of that and probably got away solely because he was a good runner. But how he ran with snow up to his waist, I don't know. Maybe he just got a break somewhere somehow at that time, was able to get through it. So whatever that was, if my dad was in that, he was a survivor of that. But he must have seen that. So I imagine that's how he got out. But he would never talk about that. I couldn't get him to talk about it. He didn't even want to admit he was captured then. I had to push him about that. That's something he just wouldn't talk about. That was the one thing that really hit him hard. He wouldn't talk about. And after the war was over, my dad had PTSD. When he came home at night, he would just get up and walk around the fields. The next day he'd be tired, and his mom didn't understand it. She was getting on to him for being tired and wanting to know what in the world was wrong with him. His dad spoke up. His dad said, "I know what's wrong. He didn't sleep last night." And she went, "Well, what's wrong with that? Tell me he didn't sleep." Well, the reason that my dad's dad understood. My dad's dad was in World War I, and he experienced the same thing. They didn't have a word for it back then. There wasn't no word for it. There was no treatment, like there is today. But he had the same experience because he couldn't sleep either, because those memories, they don't hit you till the war's over and you're back. You don't have that stress, and then it all just comes down on these guys real hard. Anybody that's been in combat experiences this. If you've seen people get blown away, if you've seen these kind of things happen, it's going to come to you. Your soul can't hardly bear it. The human soul, unless you're soulless or you're just you're a psychopath or a sociopath, it's going to catch up to you. You're going to feel that, and it's going to wear on you, and it wears on your memory. Some people never get over it. Some people never get over that. Some learn how to adjust to it and go on and live their lives. My dad did that. His dad did that. But after they got back from the war, it was hard. It was hard on them. It was a psychological burden. It hit them hard. They couldn't sleep at night because of this, and it caused some other problems. A lot of people. Some people, Vietnam War, after that, they turned to drugs and drinking and things like that. Well, that wasn't in my dad's repertoire, and he wouldn't have done that. But, it's just that it hits people that, shell shock, says Willie Fix It. It's just tough. It's really tough, and it's a hard thing to go through. So anybody that's had to be through that, they need some respect, and you need to give them a little TLC, because they got a spiritual wound to deal with, haven't dealt with that. You know, when you're talking to somebody who's next to you and gets blown away, maybe he's your best friend, or, you know, you come back from a battle and you lose a lot of people that were with you. At time, there's coming to a point that you're going to deal with that. You're going to deal with it. And it's a very sad thing. It's a very sad thing. So that's one of the other stories of war and its outcome. There's no good war. It's not such a thing. All war is HELL, as my dad said, and as several others have said also. You know, Robert E. Lee said it. I think even shoot, what's his name? We have brain lock right now. Quite a few have said that. Quite a few have said war's hell, and it really is. It's rough. You know, it gets glorified, you know, in a lot of writings and things later, but there's nothing great and wonderful about it. It's a rough thing, and we need to avoid it if we can. And we're on the verge, maybe it's that kind of thing right now. But it's political leaders that lead us into it. At least politicians ain't going to be in that war. Their kids aren't going to be in that war. Now, they may suffer the outcomes if it gets out of control and it becomes a world war and nukes start flying, but these guys aren't going to be in it usually. And they get all hyped up thinking that everything's this way or that way and they're going to win, or they got theirs and they'll get through it. And so they make a lot of decisions that leads us into places that we ought not be. And that's true on both sides. It's true on both sides, all sides. All these politicians will lead us down the road into that stuff, and it's nasty. It's just too bad. It's too bad. It's really sad. So I hope, you know, some of us can wake folks up and keep having uncles in Vietnam War destroyed mentally and physically. Yeah, Amanda, exactly. It really messes with them. It really, really gets to their minds. I had a boss at work who he was a ranger in the Army Reserve, and he got called up and he went to Iraq and he fought there in that last war. And he came back and they sent him, I think, 3 times to Iraq. And then he came back and he wound up going working for one of the contractors and going back over there. He quit the job at work and went over there as a contractor working, doing the same stuff, you know, when we used Blackwater and those guys. And then he came back 4th time. And he actually begged for his old job back, but he really wasn't able to work. He got fired. This was a big man. This man was huge. He was shoulders about yay wide and, you know, like 7 foot tall. He was a giant of a man. He come back. Now, he had been my boss. He was a good man and a hard worker, but he come back, he couldn't work. He fired him. He committed suicide. And his wife worked for our company too, and she was just sweet as apple pie. Just a sweet, lovely woman, lovely lady. And I felt so for her. You know, I know they had, like, I think 4 kids, but, you know, I'm sure he suffered that PTSD. I was asking because I've got a novel. I'm in a long-term process of working up a project on something I want to write. I had to ask him. His name was Mike. I asked him to send me pictures from over there. He said, "You wouldn't want to see them." I said, "Yeah, go ahead and send me some pictures." He has some gory pictures, obviously, but yeah, war is rough, guys. It's really rough. It's not to be taken lightly. I just want to tell some more tales on my dad, about him, but we got so sidetracked so many times. It's getting late now, but we've been on here for 3 hours now. We've looked at 4 videos of my dad. They're the only videos I ever have. I've got a lot of still pictures, a lot of stories, a lot of things he told me, a lot of things he did. My dad, you know, he didn't buy me a bicycle. He let me pick strawberries and earn the money to buy my first bicycle. And I did real good at it. I thought I was doing good. So I bought my first bicycle from strawberries. We had a big strawberry patch. I'd pick them and sell them. And he put me to running a hay baler. I used to haul hay when I was 12 years old. I started hauling hay for various farmers, you know, picking it up. When I got a little older, Dad turned the tractor over to me. So I went around the countryside cutting, raking, and baling hay. I gotta tell you, everything I've ever done in my life for work, that was the most satisfying work I've ever done. Because I got to be at one with that tractor and that sickle mower and the rake and the hay baler. But I love mowing hay more than anything with that sickle mower. I just loved it. especially a tall fescue. I just loved cutting that hay. I could swing that thing around just every which way, and I just became one with that tractor and that mower. And I loved it because it was outdoors. I was outside, and so this is what I was doing my last couple of years before I went to the Army, or before I started working, and got married and all that stuff. But I go out, I'd be outside all day long without a shirt on. I never would tan. All I did is turn kind of a rusty color. I'd be outside, no shirt on. I may pay for it one day. I may get some skin cancer. My dad started getting a lot of skin cancers, and then on his nose and forehead later in life because he spent so much time outdoors. But it was probably all the vitamin D he got. One of the things that kept him alive, because that's one of the things I've heard is if you're outside a lot, you'll probably live longer, but you're going to get the skin cancer, so you got to get treated for that. So yeah, but I remember when I was real little, Dad put me out clearing brush under a fence wire so it wouldn't short the electric fences out. In the summertime, when you're a little kid and you're a Nordic like me, my dad might have had Nordic ancestry, but he had dark hair, and he wasn't he had blue eyes, but he had dark hair. He could probably handle the heat better than me back in those days. I handle heat pretty good now, but boy, that heat got me. It was rough for me when I was a little kid out in the hot sun in summertime working a garden or clearing brush out from under an electric fence. Woo, that heat was murder. I got used to it more as I got older. And I used to be outside all the time, hottest weather. But when I was little, it was hard to get used to that. Even though we lived with that air conditioning when I was a little kid. But when I went to Alaska and lived 2 years and come back to Alabama, it nearly killed me. The heat. I just got heat exhaustion riding in my pickup truck with the windows rolled down. So there you go. All right. So my dad taught me a lot of things. You'll hear me quote him sometimes. Maybe I might share his little snippets of wisdom from him. But he also had a sense of humor. He was till he retired. He retired early. He got injured from work. He kind of retired early in a sense from his chicken inspector job, and he just basically went into carpentry and farming. But he always worked one way or another. He never gave up. He never stopped. He just kept going right to the end. Right to the end. So he had set a good example for people today. Somebody who's willing to fight for his country, for what he believed in, through the military when he had to, in his workplace, standing up to his ultimate boss, the Secretary of Agriculture, making a liar out of him. My dad was hot-tempered until he and Mom divorced. That really made him reconsider a lot of things. And he was so good to second off. I tried to get my mom and dad back together. It wasn't my dad, it was Mom. She just couldn't believe that my dad had changed the way he had. He really did. And I tried to talk her into it, and it just never panned out. If it had us, I believe she would have lived longer. And, but it just didn't what happened. So at least not in this timeline. But I have had a glimpse of another timeline about 3 different times and where they did get together, and the outcome of the world was a lot different in my life. So I have, keep telling y'all there's I live in a multiverse. Talk about Universal Sully Cup. There's one leg of that multiverse I seem to visit sometimes, like an alternate reality, like there's another me there. And so a lot of things turned out different in that universe than where we're at now, at least in respect to my life. The bigger picture might have been pretty much the same, but that's just a different thing that I think it had to do with them getting back together. But maybe it's just a dream. Maybe it's just a dream, but it's a good dream, good outcome. And in that universe, I had figured I was the happiest man in the world. Maybe somewhere out there in time space, that's exactly true. So, see what I'm missing here. My sister's husband wouldn't talk about his POW days. Oh, I guess not. POW is rough. Ryan, Uncle Jack was a turret gunner. Oh, yeah. He said to Aunt Betty, You can ask one question and then he never talked about it. Arnold Smith, my dad didn't talk much about his experience of the war. Only bits and pieces that I found out later from others who knew. Saddened me that he wouldn't tell me. Well, he just probably didn't have the heart to talk about it. Randy Lana, my baby daddy had a hard time. Grandpa said that the Japan war people threw babies on Batons and back and forth. I told the story once. I don't know what you're talking about there. Baitons. Wildfire willow. Oops, scroll, I missed it. It was a good, long, slow, painful death. So I pray, yeah, that's his new body. Okay, good, yeah. Biden waging chemical warfare against people in Colombia. Oh, Joanne, that's hot tempers equal good hearts. I got a red hair in my head, you know. Brandy Robinson, fishes and yeah, talking to fishes, okay. Talking to each other. Colonel Colorado Jan, I'm sorry you went through that, Greg. Never seen future, but seen past. I've seen an alternate current timeline. It's like now, and the world's different in the now over there. The house that I lived in as a little kid, which has been gone for years, is still standing in that universe, and I'm living in on the farm. My dad, tail gunner. Okay, will he fix it? Hats off to him. Saran, it was developed to help you grow food. It's by accident that we found it to be a defoliant and after the war. Oh, Agent Orange, nasty stuff. Battens. Glad you still have him. Mom lives with me now. Oh, after third stroke, bless her heart. Yeah, I've lost both my parents. Wildfire Willow, Judy. Talking to Judy. Roundup killed my dog. That doesn't surprise me. I use Roundup to spray poison, ivy, and weeds. Dan, don't do that no more. Cut it with a hoe. Don't spray Roundup. It's just too nasty. Rocket Man, things will be totally different when we get to heaven. I believe in God's word. There you go, Arnold. Bayonets. Okay, bayonets. Got it, Ninu. Oh, that's awful. That's awful. Wow. All right, the things Monsanto, Bayer, DuPont have done in this country since 1865 have been criminal. Says Wildfire Willow. And stratification, talking to Judy, Granny, yep, I couldn't think of the word. Okay, got it, bayonets. Yeah, all this stuff. Oh, and, you know, a lot of ugly things happen. A lot of ugly things have happened in the world. A lot of really ugly things. So Richard is saying that to Snap. So Snap, you're leaving, Snap Crackers? Or, well, I'm going to, but they're still with me. Yeah, you know, they kind of hang around. You know, and your genetics are from your parents, so my brain forgets this, Granny. First lawsuit against U.S. was in 1865. Yeah, I could see something then. The United States went through a really bad period there. And we may be heading for worse. And their parents killed themselves by jumping too. Oh no. Oh no. Wow. It's the evil leaders that want war, not the people. You know, they always say the last person that wants a war is a soldier. They know they got to fight it. I mean, they're there to defend their country. They'll do what they got to do, but they don't want war. Soldiers don't want war. Except a few crazy ones. There's always a few crazies that think they want it until they actually get it. Be careful what you ask for. Be careful what you wish for. You just might get it. War is not something you really want to get. I'm in the Roundup lawsuit. I've won my case. Good, Judy. Good for you. Well, guys, we got to wake up in this world. That's what we really got to do. We got to wake up. And we got to wake people up. Remember, I always tell you, the best way to fight darkness is with light. The best way to fight hate is with love. I always tell you, let your love light shine to the world. You know, what these older people always figure out is that when they get old and get the last days, the most important thing is family, friends, family. And they really cling to that more. It's sad my dad had to pass away in a hospital where we couldn't go see him because of the bug that wouldn't let us in. You know, they might have survived if it hadn't been for that. I was with my mom when she passed away. I was right there with her. Yeah. Sayings from the 60s. What if they threw a war and nobody came? Yeah. Greg, were you in combat? No, I wasn't in combat. I was ripping on Joe Biden earlier. Now I feel bad. Oh no, why? She's triggered deep depression. Oh, it's triggered deep into depression. Love the hymns. Okay, she was beautiful to watch them come back to life. Wow. Wow. All right. Love those who hate you, says Joanne Dancing Gypsy. Yeah, love those who hate you. You know what? Jesus taught that. Jesus taught that. Sure enough. Yeah, we're in a tough world. We are in a tough world. Tough world. So somebody's name is all dots, 4 dots. These 4 dots. So SS is Secret Service. You know, there's also Hitler's SS. There were, but the SS WWII. That must be something about World War III. Bayer equal Nazi, still rocking. No kidding. They had work counts before they were popular. They suck. Yep. Richard Bell, y'all have a good night. Good night to you, Richard. Randy, if you want to know what's really going on with the babies and the border, watch Third Eyes of the Devil. Oh. So wrong to keep family out from visiting. Yeah, Judy. Really. ISS WW says my name is just letters thrown together. Okay. You're right, Wildfire Willow. The best way to end depression is look it square in the face, put one foot in front of the other. You got it. Yeah, there's a quiet war, and we the people. You got that right. Frozen World. Hi, Greg. We got people just coming here now. We've been going for 3¼ hours. So what have we been doing? I've shown 4 videos of my dad. Stopped and talked about a little bit between. We stopped and read the chat sessions in between each video, and told a few stories and talked a little bit about things my dad was a racket. You're right. And we are the ones. Oh. It's a miracle we see people hunched over, unable to speak, and you sing the hymns of their youth, and you hear them singing with you. They sit up straighter than yep, that's so true, Fishes and Loaves. I mean, it really strikes a chord in their heart. Who pay? We pay in the end. So bankers' wars, but we get stiffed with a bill. That's how they've taken over so much. I could probably tell a lot more about my dad. Like I said, he put me running a tractor. He actually got me working in a Kentucky Fried Chicken my last year in high school. He had me, I've done roofing, replaced walls with him. Yeah, he had me on a lot of work projects. If he put a new roof on the house, and I've done that a couple times. Putting siding on the house, laying block. Well, I didn't really learn that much about how to lay block, but I was there when he did it. Here's the new moon, Greg. Hang in there. Well, thank you, awkward gummy bear. And Judy going to bed night. All right. Good night. So I think it's time to just say, does anybody have any prayer requests? We need to pray for Judy and her daughter, Cherry. We need to pray for Kaylee, Granny Lana's granddaughter. What state, Gigi, again? I'm in Alabama. Come from Alabama with a banjo on my knee. Oh, Susanna, don't you cry for me. Yeah, Brandy Robinson's in Alabama. She's about a 6-hour drive from me. I'm way up north and she's way down south. Good night, all. Good night, Greg. Dream of talking to your dad tonight. Oh, that's a good idea. Betty Fun Star. Basically, Kamala is connected to the deep state. Yeah. Well, all of them to get to that level are. And you know it. So, any prayer request? Any prayer requests, guys? Hear about U.S. supply plane that went into Ukraine and dropped and left. Well, we had a spy plane that did. I know about that. We had one of the Global Hawks. I hadn't heard about it. I knew we was in a C-130 in, but I don't know the details about the C-130. If anybody knows any details what happened to C-130, let me know. I'll stay for prayer, says G. Okay, we're going to pray in a minute. Dad told me that you have to take life straight up. Your log barn is huge. Yeah. Hey, it was an interesting building. That was my first log building I built. You see my greenhouse out there. That's the first greenhouse I built. Oh yeah, I built a cabin when I was a 16-year-old. Nice cabin too. Had a half loft in it. It was 12 by 9 feet with a 8-foot porch in the front. It was 7 foot off the ground and had a rock fireplace built in. Draw really good. We got plans for the fireplace in the Foxfire books. Lee reported it. Okay, what happened? What did Lee report, folks? What happened to all right, he reported on the Global Hawk. What happened to C-130? Did we hear any news about that? Certification. Ken looked at what they did to hippies and Vietnam War pressures, and many draft dodgers went to Canada. Can't come back. They still can't come back. Twin Poplar Lane. My daughter had a serious health problem going to Richmond Tuesday to get help. All right, so let's play for Twin Poplar Lane's daughter. Bama. New Mexico. Condon. True. All right, I'm not seeing any other prayer requests, so we're going to pray for Twin Poplar Lane. Poplar. Greg, I need to make a trip to your flea market Sunday. Have to get my rack fixed first. Losing power, steering. Oh, okay. I'll be praying for you, Twin. All right, guys. I think it's time for us to consider doing a prayer session here. Hey, Greg, what do you think about the plasmatic electric cosmos theory? We'll talk about that later. There's maybe some parts of the electric stuff, but not the degree that some people go to. I don't buy every bit of that. Those claiming to be the Messiah arriving in Israel in these days do not deceive the innocent. There you go. Well, we're told that would happen in these days. Off our blessing to Judy and family, Jim Shaw was talking to an old neighbor, and he agreed that the world has changed in 50 years. Yeah, I've seen it. I've definitely seen it, guys. I remember the time I was 2 back. I've seen the world change so much. I remember when all the old farmers still had their mules. And I remember when some of them still used them. In fact, I knew people that was plowing with mules up into the 70s from their old mules. Now, I do know a farmer that does use mules this day, but that's just what he does, wildfire magnetic. All right, guys, I think we need to end our prayer session. So I think the time has come for that. Hang on a minute. Got a couple things I need to do here real quick. F high on two. So was Bush. Oh, he was a Dodger too. Bush went to the National Guard. That's how he dodged out. They used to call the National Guard no go, but no more. They go. One arrived. Greg and Jacob Israel had it in his latest video. One arrived. All right, y'all tell me a little bit about what happened to the C-130. I know the Global Hawk got shot down. What happened to C-130? Do anybody know? My dad built houses, warehouses, and I worked with him for 20 years as well in heavy industrial. Well, very good. All right, guys. Milk delivery at the door. Now? This hour? I don't think so. Yeah, but they used to get that. All right, let's pray, everyone. Let's pray for peace too, and for our country, the world. Let's pray that amazing grace, says Mark Rodriguez. Okay, very good. Let's pray. Oh yeah, Walt. Yeah. All right, amen. World's changed a lot in the last 30 years. How about the last 20 years? Yeah. What are the young people want to do? Good question. They're going to have a tough time. Tough time. They don't want to do any work at all right now, hardly. The professional ones will do some professional work, but the hard work we're talking about, I don't know. There's a few that would. There's some that are not already, but we're living in challenging times, friends. So I got one and a POS big dollar for Israel shipped boatload. All right. Leah's live now. Okay, we'll have to go over and check Lee in a minute, see what he's talking. We'll get a catch up here in a minute. Probably where old as dirt went. Guys, ladies and gentlemen, I thank y'all for joining with me in this night in commemoration of my dad. His 100th birthday. We're now the day after in my time. How about everybody real quick roll? Tell me where you're from. Let's go through and tell me what state you're from. Thanks, Judy, for staying with us to the prayer. Thanks, Granny Lana. Yeah, I'll be missing my dad, and I'll really get thinking about it when it gets quiet tonight and I go to bed. And we're not here chatting with each other. James Wood is playing the role for Biden right now. Young people have been trained by Bush. Dill the dot. Yeah. You days always. Good night. Blessing to everyone. Thanks, Greg. Very nice night remembering your dad. He's dancing with the saints in heaven. Amen to that. Amen to that. Holy Spirit, our Father, you who make me feel and see everything, shows me the way to reach my ideal. You who gives me the divine gift to forgive everything, and you who are in all instances of my life with me. Very nice certification. What a prayer. Twin Poplar Lane, Homestead, Virginia, Utah, Ray. Yep. Raleigh, North Carolina. This awkward gummy bear. Yeah, I've been there. We're in Alaska, Steve. I was at Fort Greely, not next to Delta Junction for 2 years. Steve Lippert, Alaska. I love Alaska. It's a beautiful state. I need to go back. Boy, I dreamed about Alaska for years after I left there. Alaska's one of those places, it gets in your head, wow, it's there. You always got a piece of Alaska in you if you spend your time up there. It's this beautiful country. Kentucky, says Mr. Four Dots. Arkansas River Valley, Christy. All right, good night, Judy. Thanks for staying with us. She's in Ohio. Prayers, Green Greg, says Steve. Spokane, Washington, says Steve. All right. I know Brandy's in Alabama. Mobile, Ohio, says Judy. We're training tools for AI facial recognition. Yikes. Minnesota. All right, Brian, we know that. Blue Texas. It was Blue Texas. Uh-oh. So turning Texas blue. Rodriguez, Southeast Louisiana, where we have a 12-month growing season. Wow. Muddy fundraiser. Stockholm, Sweden. Hey, we got one from Sweden here, guys. Muddy fundraiser. Stockholm, Sweden. I'd like to go to Sweden one day. No. Cute at home, Eastern, so I don't cute get here. So Muddy Fun Star, what's it like in Sweden right now? Is it a place that people should want to go visit? I like to go to Sweden. I like to go to Norway. I'm sure some of my ancestors spent some time up there, quite a few of them. Texas, Wildfire Willow. AK is fun. Did 21 days upper. All right. Bye, Greg and everyone. All right. SSWW3 240. Kim Wilson, talking around upstate South Carolina. Wow. Guess you're up in the mountains. I am no long erect Chicago. I don't know, Chewy. I know you're out west. Oh wait, no, that's Willie Fix It. Chewy says good night, Greg and people, Hillsboro, Oregon. Yeah, all right. Wildfire Willie, it's a test run to see he's going to conform. Yeah, with no resistance. Yeah, well, I was feeling that. All right, my son is going to Sweden soon. All right, Wildfire. Yeah, it must be the same as always, close to nature. That's good, Mighty Fun Star. Is Sweden caught up with all the craziness going on in the world? I'd like to go to Finland, but I'd be lost, says Brian. Is Sweden caught up in all this craziness in the world? Has it managed to avoid some of it? Being all the way up there in Nordic country? I hope somebody gets to avoid some of this craziness. So we got 57 in the room. Mr. Hart, good night. God bless. My Chewy, says Brandy. Yeah, we're about to end here in just a couple of minutes because we said our prayer, checking where everybody's from. I think we're about done here. 5 inches of snow today in Alaska, says Steve. Where in Alaska are you? Pick your first time. Alaska. Chichaco. Yeah, Chichaco. Chichaco. That's a new one. Kind of like Chichaco is kind of like what do you call it? Greenhorn. Rain Robinson. All right, let's see. Nice prayer, Greg. Thank you, said Wildfire Willow. All right, Steve, we're in Alaska. Well, Stockholm, most are woke, but not the rest of Sweden. Okay. So cities are cities, and out in the country, people are pretty much the same all over the world, looks like. The cities are liberal and the countryside's conservative. Was a thing Mike could spell R 3RTOU. I could spell, I don't know what you're saying. Homer, okay. Homer. Got it. Homer. Already been doing soft disclosure by releasing 9 million pages of UFO documents. Yeah, that's getting interesting. Getting interesting. Greenhorn. Yes, Greg, that's right. Greenhorn. Homer. Got it. Got it. Homer. Greenhorn. Chichaco. Yeah. And then you got a Chinook, which is the warm wind blowing out of the Gulf of Alaska, blowing north, warming things up in Alaska. Temperatures can change 60 degrees in an hour in Alaska. Yeah, you can be real cold and get a Chinook blowing in. My friends are all over Alaska. All right, says Willie Fix It. Hey, I live in interior Alaska, pretty much at the foot of Mount Hayes, Mount Deborah, 2 years. Beautiful country, beautiful, beautiful. Aliens equal demons with a publicitist like the Kardashians. Oh, yeah, I think they're demons. Boo is the name of our nearest town. Oh, not a Biden fan. Gotcha, of course. Blue's the town. Got you. But you're trying to turn Texas blue. Teach our young people. Well, we're trying, Sylvia. We're trying. We're trying. Thank you. Got a hunch 9 out of 10 will be gone by 2025. Yeah, that's what Deagle is telling us, and that wouldn't surprise me. Wow. So where? Okay, guys, I think we need to call it a night. Let's see. Watch out for the reactions. ESP from academia, especially from academia. Things like evolution are called into question. Religion too. When I was there, I felt small upper one. Small upper one. Not sure I follow that. Will he fix it? All right, guys. It's been real. It's been fun. It's been real fun being with you guys. I always enjoy the chat from you guys. You're the best in the world. I got the best subscribers, and I'm real proud of you guys. So it's kind of a somber day because I really had hoped that we'd be celebrating with my dad alive today. I really hoped he'd make it to his 100th birthday. He got close. He got real close. Real close. But see, you know, I've seen people who was real sick for years make it keep going. He was stout. He was out and about, driving his own truck right to the end. So I thought he would, you know, go down more over time. I thought my dad might live to be well over 110. Thought he might. Didn't happen. But he did have a long life, a lot of experience. A lot of people showed love to him at the end especially, and that's real important to somebody when they're getting older. But he did get lonely. He was living by himself, and even though people come by and see him, he did get lonely. So here's what I'm going to leave you guys with. Love your friends. Love your family. You don't know how long you've got anybody. You can lose people at any age. There's no guarantee of anything for tomorrow. You just don't know what's going to come. So love your loved ones. Let them know you love them. Tell them you love them every chance you get. And if you can do it more than words, that's important. Hugs are very important for people. Some people say for good mental health, you need 14 hugs a day. But with the stuff going around, it's kind of hard to get, right? I'm not looking at the chat room right now. I'm just looking at the camera because I'm in this video. But I'm going to go back to the chat room for a second because there's a delay, so I can catch a little bit of chat. But I'm going to get everything here at the end, though, because I'm just sharing some final thoughts here, closing thoughts. Love your family. If your parents are still alive, go see them as much as you can. You're not going to have them forever. Uncles, aunts, you know, yeah, I'm sure you got a lot of dear uncles and aunts. So you can. Let them know you love them. Your kids, your cousins, your nieces, your nephews, your brothers, your sisters. Share your love with them as much as you can. And with all mankind. We need to wear rose-colored glasses and see the way other people see things. We need to build peace in this world. You know, these wars, my dad went through are very ugly things, and people may be forgetting just how ugly it is. And as they forget, they might be more prone to get us into these things, but they're not pretty. There's nothing pretty about them. But yeah, it's tough times. But share your love. Hug the one you're with. You know, just go out and let your family know how much you care for them. Your moms, your dads, grandmas, grandpas. Spend some time with them if you can, because they're not going to be here forever. I've lost a lot of dear people in my life. Some of them I wished I could spend more time with, especially toward the end, but it is what it is. But that's the most important thing. Everyone's precious. Everyone is precious. But we do lose them in time. But they do live on your memory, in your heart. And with that, I'm going to say go out. Like I said, light dispels dark, love dispels hate. So go out and shine your love light in the world. And with that, I'm going to say thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for sharing your time, for coming here and seeing my dad on this commemoration of his 100th birthday. Wish I could have done it live in person with him. It would have been so good. But he made it a long time. He did well. So he lives here. My mom's there, and quite a few other people I felt close to in my life, including I had a neighbor that was like a dad to me also, MJ Joyner. I just lost him this last year, and he meant a lot to me. So with that, I'm going to say thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for being here, for joining me today for this. Thank you very much, and thank you for watching. And